way ahead.
Well, I would say tonight's game, if you are a Celtics fan, you probably want them to be down going into the second half and the fourth quarter. If they're up 4-6 points, look out.
Brian Windhorst on Get Up. Celtics and Heat, Game 5 tonight. No Gabe Vincent for Miami. He's got a left ankle sprain. Our coverage starts at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio. In the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight, Game 4 of the West Final with the Vegas Golden Knights playing for a sweep of the Stars in Dallas. 8 Eastern for that one on ESPN TV. Veteran safety Tony Jefferson retiring after 9 years in the NFL to become a scout for the Ravens. And Team USA beats the Czech Republic 3-0 in the World Hockey Championship quarterfinals in Finland.
It's Wrangler season out there. Open roads, endless horizons. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles made for your next adventure. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid! Actually, I hope you have a great day, kid. My last day before vacation. Feeling great. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
So. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Locked, loaded, a ton to get to today. LSU and Arkansas. They're going to throw out first pitch here in 90 minutes from right now from the SEC tournament. For all intents and purposes, the final hour of today's show will just become a companion show. Last week we tried. Last week we tried on Thursday and Friday when the LSU-Georgia games were starting at 5 o'clock, and we tried to say, hey, look, let's do anything but LSU-Georgia, right? Because if you want to watch the game, you're going to be watching the game. And I just felt like, it just felt like, hey, everyone just turned off the lights and left.
Pretty much, yeah.
And so
that's a thing.
You know what? I ain't fighting it. Companion show today. It's IGDFR. 5 o'clock hour companion show right here
for it.
On AFR. That's what we're doing. We're going to crack open some ice cold Bud Light. So let's do that right now. Let's get this thing started.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
I mean, if OTB can drink champagne on Friday mornings, you know what we can do here? I'll drink Bud Light on Friday evenings. That's what I'll do.
Well, it's Thursday, but yeah, I love it.
Well, guess what?
It's Friday for you.
It is a Friday for me. You guys darn right.
Yeah.
It's vacay for me after this. I'm fired up for it.
Shout
but
out.
There is an issue at hand. Wes Moore in 15 minutes covers Arkansas up there in Little Rock. We'll preview the game from the Arkansas perspective. LSU basketball got a commitment from a former five-star transfer, Matthew Brune, 1 hour from right now. Sean Fazende will recap Saints OTAs next hour with us. Hey, let's start, though, with a bit of a thumbnail here on LSU and Arkansas. It is going to be Paul Skeens against Hagen Smith. Both of these teams are going to throw their aces in this ballgame. Jay Johnson was here yesterday, and I asked him if Paul Skeens was going to pitch against Arkansas. Here's what he said.
He's definitely going to pitch. You know, we haven't decided exactly what day that's going to be, but I think, he's a feel guy. He's a good athlete. He's been a creature of habit, creature of routine. He owns his routine. He does it about as good as everybody or as anybody can. And we feel like it's important to get him up and touch the mound. So he's definitely going to pitch. We're just making sure we hit it at the exact right point.
Our guy couldn't just let us break the news here yesterday on the show. He just couldn't go that far with us. Just held out. I mean, what did he do it like an hour later?
Yeah, something like that. Well, Arkansas was still playing when he came on the show.
Anyway, So it is going to be Paul Skeens against Hagen Smith. You heard Jay say it there. We just need to get him up and touch the mound. When he was with us after the Alabama series, he was non-committal about Paul Skeens even pitching in this tournament if the hay was in the barn. So as far as routine process, all that, I'm telling you, Paul Skeens is not going to extend today. Like, if Jay doesn't give away much by way of competitive advantage, really anything. Is that fair to say? I mean, listen, and that's not a criticism. Any coach can do whatever they want. Brian Kelly would tell you if his best player tears an ACL. That happened literally with Mason Smith last year. Les Miles wouldn't tell you if a player had hiccups. Paul Maneri was as transparent to coaches I've ever covered. He would tell you anything you wanted to know. Jay doesn't. That's okay. It's just there's not a good, a bad, a right, or wrong. It's just their preference, and that's totally fine. But you can start to sometimes read tea leaves with certain coaches. And with Jay, if Paul Skeens was going to go, here's a better example. What did Jay say yesterday? What did Jay say yesterday during the game? No. During the game with Thatcher Hurd. No, you don't have to pull it. Just tell me. Muse, tell me. What did he say yesterday?
Well, as long as he's getting outs, he's going to go. We're trying to win the game.
Right?
Yeah.
In game, on TV, everyone to see. As long as he's getting outs, go. If that were the intention with Paul Skeens today, would he say it?
I think so, yes.
So I don't think you're going to get a full Paul Skeens start today. The one sort of bummer is he is just staring down Big Ben's record. His strikeout record. Of course, Ben McDonald, 1989, 202 strikeouts. And, man, I look, as much as I love Big Ben, y'all know how I feel about history and records. Like, I want to see records be broken. I want to see history. I want Paul Skeens to get this record. And I know that's not the thing that they're after. There's way more on the line, winning in Omaha, winning a championship. Paul Skeens is 37 shy of tying Ben McDonald's record. If I'm not mistaken, it's 37 shy of tying, 38 to break it. So, regionals, supers, tonight, I mean, they got to go to Omaha for him to break it, essentially. Unless if he has a couple of 15 strikeout performances, regional supers, and then whatever he may do today. So he needs 38 to break it. They're going to have to get to Omaha for him to do it if Paul Skeens doesn't extend tonight. So, but then again, he only pitched 3 innings against South Carolina, had 8 strikeouts.
That's what I was going to say. We've seen him kind of, strike out everybody before, so could happen.
It could very well happen. So anyway, how far does he go will be interesting to see. One other seed I want to plant for you today. Excuse me. That was gross. I definitely just snotted phlegm into the microphone. My apologies. That was disgusting. I didn't get to the cough button soon enough. Last week, Leah Vann was here on the show. She joined us from Athens. And Leah said something on this show that got a lot of people's attention and something she subsequently has written about for The Advocate. This is what Leah said about how it was about Ty Floyd and his role. Give a listen.
Something that I think is interesting to keep an eye out for is maybe having Ty Floyd work as a reliever role in postseason, just as somebody who can affect more innings in different games and more outs. I'm actually working on a story about the 2016 season with Jay Johnson at Arizona. And they kind of did something similar when they had an injury to their Friday night starter in the College World Series. And so I'm wondering if LSU, that's kind of the blueprint for what LSU is going to do this year. The way Jay Johnson views pitching is out, not necessarily who's starting and who's relieving. And so when you put it that way, that's probably a better way to optimize your postseason chances. And so I wonder if, we're going to see Ty obviously starting probably this week and next week and through the SEC tournament. But I wonder if you get to a regional, if you see something different.
So Leah, by the way, she did publish that story. You can go read it at NOLA.com or The Advocate. It's the 2016 Arizona baseball team's pitching hints at Jay Johnson's potential strategy. Leah tweeted it. It was from May the 20th, so it was from 5 days ago. But you can go read it, and she talks to Mike Farron, and she talks to several pitchers from that Arizona team back in 2016, and it's an interesting theory to lay out. And if you were going to, I'm just going to plant this seed. And I like, Jay ain't disclosing stuff, right? I mean, I'm not telling you something I know. It's just interesting to see how he handles today. Because if you're going to throw Paul Skeens and have him on a short leash today, as I assume they will. Again, these are assumptions I'm making. I could be wrong. Skeens could go throw 115 pitches tonight. What I'm telling you is, if Skeens is short today, this would be really your only opportunity to see what Ty Floyd out of the bullpen looks like. Because you're not going to do it. You don't want to try it in a super regional. You don't want to see if it works in Omaha. Like last weekend when we saw Hayden Travinski play first base. I'm sorry, it was the midweek, wasn't it? It was the final midweek game against Northwestern State. McNeese, thank you. They played Travinski at first. And we're like, Travinski at first? I mean, you got a bunch of options at first. You could play Trey Morgan at first. You could play Beloso at first. You could play Bear Jones at first. You had a bunch of options. Why did you put Travinski at first? Because you'd rather find out how it looks against McNeese than you would in an SEC weekend where you're trying to win the league, right? Not saying that's what you're going to do, but you get a look at it. This would be your opportunity to get a look at it. So, again, we'll see what they do today, but it was really well done by Leah. And there's a lot that makes sense. And look back at what Jay said yesterday when he was talking about Thatcher Hurd, which Muse just said. As long as he's getting outs, we'll leave him in there. It's not about who's a starter, who's a closer, it's about who's getting outs, who's an out-getter, as it was termed. One of the people quoting the story termed it, it's not about starting or whatever, it's about out-getting, who can go out and get outs. So, and for this, here it is. It was from Ming, who was a pitcher on that team, who's now a development coach of the Mariners, who said Jay doesn't necessarily think you have to be a starter, have to be a closer. He sees you as an out-getter. So when are you the most valuable in games to pitch? So I said, Dahlbeck and I flip-flopped. I became the de facto Swiss Army knife. I could go 5 innings. I could go 1 inning. And Ming made 10 appearances in 13 postseason games as a reliever. So, again, not saying it's what they're going to do. I'm just saying file it away, because if you were going to try it, this would be the day to try it. Okay, I do want to circle back as well, because D1 Baseball has updated their field of 64 projections, and there is some relevance there for LSU, obviously. They have LSU as the 4 seed, so no change. I'm not trying to bury that lead, but it's more about who would be coming to Baton Rouge and who you'd be paired with and what to look for. So we'll get into all that as well. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. Our Thursday shows are brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll head up to Little Rock. Our buddy Wes Moore, who covers the Razorbacks, will be here to tell us all about the Hogs in this game, which is about an hour and 15 minutes away from first pitch. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. Electric vehicle chargers for your home, for your office building, commercial building. It's ProCharge EV. Look around. You're driving I-10. You're driving around Baton Rouge. You are going to see electric vehicles everywhere. I mean, you can hardly roll through a parking lot or just drive the streets without seeing a Tesla, an EV, any type of EV. Well, where do they charge? Well, you have a home charger for sure, but what about when you're out and about? There's gas stations everywhere. What about EV chargers? That's what so much of the infrastructure is being pushed toward right now. So if you own a business or a commercial building, maybe you own an apartment complex, gas stations, car wash, a law office, it doesn't matter. You install an EV charger. When someone who drives an EV needs a charge, they pull up into your spot, tap to pay, you make money. ProChargeEV.com. Learn more, ProChargeEV.com. ProChargeEV.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Hey, Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, let's head up to Little Rock. Our buddy Wes Moore does radio and TV up there. He's a virtual renaissance man. Fox 16 and 103.7 The Buzz. Talk LSU, Arkansas. How are you, dude?
Hey, man, I'm great, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing really well. So the Hogs are kind of an amazing story. They've had tons of injuries, yet they just keep winning. And in D1 Baseball's latest projections, they are the number 3 national seed. Are they playing for anything in Hoover this week?
No.
Okay.
Is anybody? I mean, seriously, the SEC tournament's become so regardless for so many teams. I mean, maybe – somebody could play their way into the tournament. Well, Georgia, they need to look at it for the most part. After A&M won their first game, I think they're in. It's for fun. It's entertainment. That's all it is.
And it's a fat check because they have TV money and tickets and all that sort of stuff. But I tend to agree with you. A 30-game grind is going to mean much more than a few days in the suburbs of Birmingham. But Paul Skeens and Hagen Smith are going to go today. Jay Johnson hasn't said this, Wes. My assumption is that he's going to have Paul Skeens on a pitch count. He's going to work up a lather and be out of there inside of 5 innings, I would assume. What about Hagen Smith? You think they're going to let him rip today?
No, I think it's the same thing. We have Hagen Smith on our show every week, and we had him on today. And I asked him if he was on a pitch count, and he said, "I don't know. I'm just going out there and 1 inning at a time." Cliche, but okay. We were. I put the over/under pitch count on 100, and everybody went under. So I think it is. You go in, you get your work, maybe 5 innings, 6 innings, but definitely he gets up to 100, he's out of the game. There's no reason.
Yeah. Is this Dave Van Horn's best coaching job?
That's been the discussion, and a lot of people believe it is, and even former players have chimed in and said it. When you think there was a point in the season where their leadoff hitter, Tavian Josenberger, was out. Their number 2 hitter, Peyton Stovall from Louisiana, and he is out for the year now. He was out. And their number 3 hitter, who was their best hitter, Jared Wagner, was out. And they kept winning. They lost their Friday night starter before the season even started, Jackson Wiggins, and they plugged in Hagen Smith, and he has been awesome, first-team All-SEC. They lost 3 guys out of the bullpen. One of them has since returned. That's Brady Tigert. He was their closer last year. Now he's their number 2 starter. But he was juggling. And the move to put Hagen Smith in the bullpen for a portion of the season, it worked out tremendously because he was able to close out games. He would come in and lock down games and get wins for them when, the worst thing in baseball is when you blow a save and that 9th inning rally. It just deflates the team. And everything he's done this year has just worked. Now, I will say this is the deepest team I've ever seen. And Van Horn said it before the year, this is the deepest pitching staff he's ever had. And that's, thank goodness, because they've got 3 guys that have all been big-time contributors. They're out for the year. And then we're watching, I was down in Baton Rouge watching the LSU game with Doug Bickley, and a guy that you know so well. And he was talking about how LSU's got some players on the bench that would start for other teams, and one day, they're going to be first-round picks. And I was like, Arkansas is the same way. They have guys starting in midweek games who are just raking. I mean, they're just putting up huge numbers, and we got fans calling in going, why isn't this guy playing? I'm like, you're right. Why isn't he playing? Who do you want to take out of the lineup?
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm not. This isn't Little League where you can play 12 guys or bat 12 guys. You put one of these guys in, somebody has to go out, and no one's struggling on the weekend. So they're just a deep team. Now, when the injuries happen, that's when it paid off, and they were able to plug in some of these guys and keep on clicking.
Yeah, convos here very similar. A guy like Bear Jones has 14 homers. He's on the bench right now. It's crazy.
The leading hitter for Arkansas in SEC play is now on the bench because the outfielders got healthy, and there was nowhere for him to play. And so he's a pinch hitter. And he was leading the team in batting average during SEC play.
I remember you mentioned Hagen Smith when they moved him out of the bullpen. That's when LSU saw him in Game 1 in Baton Rouge. It was Hunter Holland started. Yeah, and Hagen Smith came out of the bullpen. But he'll get the ball today. So if Smith is on a pitch count or doesn't really extend, what do you expect Dave Van Horn to do today? How does the pitching set up for Arkansas?
I think they would love to get 5 innings, maybe 6 from Hagen Smith, and then probably bring in Gage Wood. That's the freshman closer. And that's what allowed Dave Van Horn to move Hagen Smith back. He came in, he was their best pitcher, the best pitcher for probably 6 weeks until he blew the save Saturday night or Saturday afternoon against Vanderbilt. They gave up 8 runs in the 8th inning to Vanderbilt. That was the first time he had a hiccup. I kind of think, you're up 8-2, you come in and you don't have that same fire. And I think he took it a little bit for granted and learned as a freshman that you got to be ready every time you come out. But I expect to see him to close things out tonight.
Is there a weakness on this team, Wes?
Ooh. You know what? The shortstop has been, but as of late, Bolton has been so much better hitting. The 8-9 spot with Parker Rowland and Bolton, you probably won't see Bolton because he rolled his ankle against Vanderbilt, so they have Harold Cole playing shortstop right now. That's the only holes in the lineup, the 8-9, low average. And then the bullpen is in such better shape now because of 2 guys that meant so much to this team last year when they made their run to Omaha. That was McIntyre and Zach Morris. They pitched last night, 9 innings combined out of the bullpen. Those 2 guys have started pitching like they did last year, and that's solidified the bullpen. So this is a very solid team. That there's a reason why they're ranked by D1 Baseball as number 3 team in the country and co-champs with Florida in the SEC. They're a very good team. And they have been. I heard a stat last night. I did not realize this. No team in the country has more wins than Arkansas since the year 2017. Dave Van Horn, year in, year out, since 2017, and even before that, but the last 5 years minus COVID, they have been the best team in the country. They just haven't won. They're knocking on the door, but they haven't won the big thing. Had a chance last year. Ole Miss beat them 2-0 in the game to, win that side of the bracket and go to, beat Oklahoma in the championship series. And of course, there's the Oregon State fiasco with the foul ball. they've been there. They're close. They just haven't done it. That's all that Van Horn's missing to be known as one of the best coaches in the country.
He is Wes Moore, Fox 16 up in Little Rock, 103.7 The Buzz is middays there. Always appreciate we get a couple of minutes. Hey, one more thing before you go. Anything that you'd like to see that you're keeping an eye on in this ball game today?
I'm keeping an eye on Skeens, man. It's a treat to get to watch him pitch. I'm a baseball fan. There are Friday nights when Arkansas's not playing, or if LSU's on a Thursday night, I'll turn on the SEC Plus and just watch him pitch. I mean, I know people down there know what a pleasure it is. But this guy's a future major leaguer, and we had Jace Borfin on the show today, and Jace got a hit off of him. One of the two hits that they had, and you just thought this is a major leaguer. We get to hit against a major leaguer tonight. They're excited about it. They won that first game at Baton Rouge. They said they played bad, poorly. The game 2 and game 3 and lost the series. They want to go out and win this game. So I want to see them stay healthy. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I saw the kid from Alabama run into the fence. That's just the worst thing you want to see right now. Just everybody stay healthy and get ready for the regional.
Hey, man, do you have a Golden Spikes vote?
No.
Okay. If you did, who would you vote for? Skeens or Cruz?
Yeah, man, Cruz.
Okay.
I mean, he's doing it every game. Skeens, I know you lock down a Friday, you win that first game like you do so many times at LSU, and all you got to do is win Saturday and you win the series. And if you win Saturday, then you're going for the sweep. It's such a luxury to have a guy on Friday night that'll lock down and get you a win 9 out of 10 times. But, man, to have a center fielder that hits like that for average, for power, and is a plus defender, has a great arm, no, that's my guy.
Wes Moore on Twitter at Wes_Moore. 2 S's, by the way, WESS. Wes_Moore. Y'all give him a follow. We appreciate it, man. Always great to visit.
You bet. Good talking to you, man.
I mean, you as well. Look, Kevin Kopps is an Arkansas guy that won the Golden Spikes 2 years ago. I mean, I just pulled it up to see, by position. Kopps won it as a pitcher in 2021. Brendan McKay won it, but he was a two-way guy. Let's see. A.J. Reed was a two-way guy. Trevor Bauer, 2011, was the last one before Kopps. That was just a strictly pitcher to win it. Bryce Harper. Strasburg won it in 2009. David Price in 2007. Lincecum won it in 2006. How about that? Look at this picture. Well, you can't see it. This picture of Tim Lincecum. I mean, clean-shaven, short hair Tim Lincecum in his Washington Huskies home whites.
That's unacceptable. I need the freak. Like, I need the long hair, the long stringy hair out the hat.
Oh, man, look at the frosted tips with Alex Gordon and Jared Weaver. Oh, man, Weaver from Long Beach back in 2004. I guess my point is, there's Ricky Weeks in 2003. It's rare. It's rare that you see a pitcher win the Golden Spikes Award because for exactly the reason Wes said. I mean, you're pitching once a week. Now, Kopps was a reliever, right? So he affected way more games, but that's the thing that Skeens has going against him. He's going to be the national pitcher of the year. But as far as winning the Golden Spikes Award, it's just rare to see a guy who's strictly a pitcher do it. And Skeens would be as close as you could possibly come, but Cruz probably is the guy who gets the vote. All right, we're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. They do it all over at Relief Windows. You want to make your home more energy efficient? You want to increase your home's resale value? Beautify the exterior of your home? Relief Windows can help. And remember, with Relief Windows, they have everyday great deals as well. If you buy windows and doors in combo, they'll always give you a 10% discount. And so much of, maybe this is something that you priced during COVID, thought about doing windows or doors or siding. But as we all learned the phrase, when you were learning about supply chain issues, the price of everything went up. Well, as supply chain issues have rectified, prices have normalized, so Relief Windows reflects those prices to you. So something that might have cost you more a few years ago might actually cost less now. It's worth giving them a shot. It's Relief Windows. ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. They do it all at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Okay, we'll go around the SEC. The conference has announced a few alternate football dates, so we know the Thanksgiving night game, the Black Friday game, several of those. We'll get to that. We'll go around the SEC. Matthew Brune is going to join us in 30 minutes. If you missed it today, LSU basketball, big get for Matt McMahon. picked up a five-star transfer. He was a five-star signee at Kentucky, was there in Lexington for a couple of years, now is transferring to Baton Rouge. We'll get all the particulars from Matthew Brune in about 30 minutes from right now. And 1 hour from right now, Sean Fazende will be here. We'll recap Saints OTAs as the Black and Gold finished up their 3-day OTAs earlier today. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break and go around the SEC next.
AFR.
Maybe you're heading home to watch a little LSU baseball. Before you get there, you want to pull on into Rouse's, get you some chips, some dips, some ice-cold beer, whatever it may be. Rouse's has got all of it for you. Now, remember, Rouse's has everything that you could be looking for, meaning got that graduation party coming up. You want the cake for that grad in your life? You can get it at Rouse's. You want to get a gift for the grad? How about Rouse's gift cards? That's a great option. They could be living on their own for the first time. If it's a high school grad going to college, get them a Rouse's gift card so they'll take care of their groceries for, well, maybe a week, maybe a month, depending on how generous you're feeling. You want dinner for the whole family tonight? Grab-and-go option at Rouse's as well. Swing on into the deli. They've got great prepared meals. The grab-and-go hot and boiled seafood kiosks. They got everything over at Rouse's. Check them out. More than 60 locations of Rouse's along the Gulf Coast. You can find the location nearest you. You can get the weekly ads and the coupons all at Rouse's.com or by downloading the convenient Rouse's app. Get it today. Rouse's.com. Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on all new 22 Ford F-150 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Turn my music high, 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 high. Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing.
Sure I do. I'm from the streets where the hood can swallow on me. Bullets will follow on me. There's so much that you could run the slalom. The cops comb this top to bottom. They say that we are prone to violence, but it's home sweet home. With personalities clashing, chrome meets chrome. Prices up and down like this Wall Street.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge. New Orleans, Alexandria.
The SEC has announced a few new TV slots, and these are what we always expect. But, of course, you have specialty programming or slots, games that are usually scheduled on a weekend that are moved to, like the Thanksgiving night game, the Black Friday game, the Week 0 opener game, the Thursday night. So we've gotten some of those. And the SEC sort of leaks these out, or the networks leak them out kind of as the offseason goes along. Like, eventually we'll get word from the league about the day-night doubleheader weekend. CBS has they have two doubleheaders. One is an 11 a.m., 2:30 doubleheader. One is the day-night doubleheader, the 2:30, 7 p.m. doubleheader. So we'll know the dates. They have to specify what weekend they want, but they won't tell us what game. But really, you can just look at the weekend and decipher what they're planning to do. Like last year, it was very clear they were taking the Alabama-Texas A&M game. After everything that transpired in the offseason, after A&M beat Bama a year ago, well, I think it's a safe assumption this year that CBS is going to pick that first Saturday in November. I mean, LSU-Bama is going to go back to the night game on CBS. I would be stunned if it didn't. But, we'll wait and see how it all plays out. But a few updated kick times and dates. The Egg Bowl is going to be played on Thanksgiving night. Really cool tradition. I know the fans of both programs enjoy that. It's in Starkville this year. So Egg Bowl, Thanksgiving night, 6:30 p.m. for Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Ole Miss leads the all-time series 64, 47, and 6. But that one will be on Thanksgiving night with the Egg Bowl. They've played that on Thanksgiving night 31 times previously, including 5 times since 2017. So the Egg Bowl goes to Thanksgiving night. The Black Friday game will be Missouri-Kansas again, the battle line rivalry. This is at Reynolds Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville. So Arkansas fans will be really ticked off that they have to play a made-for-TV fake rivalry for a fake trophy against a team that's new to the league that they don't really respect, and still wonder why LSU fans hate the LSU-Arkansas series the way that it was for so many years. But that game will be interestingly enough, that game on Black Friday is not going to kick at 1:30. It's going to kick at 3 o'clock. For years and years and years, LSU played that game against Arkansas at 1:30, and similarly, since 2014, Arkansas-Missouri has been the 1:30 game on Black Friday, but that's going to be 3 o'clock on CBS with Arkansas and Missouri. Just as Black Friday has become just a giant day of college football, and I love that tradition, by the way. I mean, Thanksgiving, you have your NFL games, you have your turkey, and then Black Friday. We work Black Friday, but they start and have a full day of Black Friday games, which is really pretty cool, so I like that. And then one other one of less consequence, Mizzou will host South Dakota on Thursday, August 31st at 7 p.m. So that'll be on the SEC network. Looks like SEC Network Plus. So that's a little odd. Wouldn't you think that's odd? Like if you were gonna move that game, wouldn't you move it for the SEC Network window? But it says here it's going to be an SEC Network Plus. So, yeah, in any event, so South Dakota, Missouri will move to that Thursday of the opening weekend of the college football season. Week 1, not Week 0. Thursday before Labor Day weekend when LSU plays on Sunday. Mizzou will play South Dakota on Thursday. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you hanging about with us here. Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. Go around the SEC in just a quick second. Actually, literally sitting here in studio and just minutes ago. I mean, this was at 3:02. So, right at the start of the show, I got a text from Kerry Manuel. He's the used car manager over at South Point Volkswagen. He said, "Hey, Matt, I want to let you know, great selection of used vehicles in stock. All of them fully serviced, fully checked out by the service team. Lots of SUVs as well. Remember, all different makes and models, not just Volkswagens. They've got Volkswagens, Hondas, Toyotas, Infiniti, Lexus, so many more." He said, "Come see us for a great deal and a great experience." I've had a great relationship, my friends, over at South Point Volkswagen for so many years. We've gone through that process of buying and leasing. Gosh, I want to say it's 6 times now over at South Point, and we always have an exceptional experience with Brad and with Kerry and Mr. Bill and Kelly, who we tell you about all the time, Bob, Mr. Bobby. They're all awesome people. So get on by and see them over at South Point Volkswagen this Memorial Day weekend. Airline just north of Highlander, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Georgia Bulldogs.
I got a 2 for here in Athens. Number 1, their athletic director, Josh Brooks, is receiving a raise and a contract extension. Extension of 6 years beginning this July and a raise of $1.025 million. And that'll increase annually by $100,000 over the next 6 years of the contract. He was previously down to the final 2 years of his deal. That was the lowest in the SEC. And for a team that's in a program that all of their programs except baseball and men's basketball, all of the programs made the NCAA tournament, made postseason play. Georgia continues to rise in the Learfield Cup standings. They've extended athletic director Josh Brooks. And Kirby Smart added a commit from 4-star tight end Jaden Riddell. He's the top-ranked tight end for the 2024 class. Forgive me, he's number 67 overall. He's a 4-star. Georgia's class is the top-ranked class for 2024 right now. 6'5", 220. He's from Missouri, and he picked Georgia over Bama, Tennessee, Arizona State, and Arkansas. Georgia's picked up 4 commitments since Friday. As we head over to Hoover, some action since last we discussed, of course, Arkansas beat Texas A&M in 11 innings, 6-5. They walked him off. That's why LSU's playing Arkansas. In the night window yesterday, they went to 11 innings, but Florida outlasted Alabama 7-6. Vanderbilt, this one went past midnight last night. Vanderbilt beat Auburn 6-4 in the nightcap. Earlier today, South Carolina was shut out by Texas A&M. They're headed back to Columbia. 5-0, the Aggies were the winner. And then a game that just went final just a bit ago, Alabama beat Auburn 7-4. So Alabama advances on here at the SEC tournament. Auburn is done. Still to come, as we mentioned, it'll be LSU and Arkansas in less than an hour from right now. And then the nightcap tonight will be Florida and Vanderbilt. Should LSU win, they'll have the day off. Should they lose, they'll have to play tomorrow at 3 o'clock against Texas A&M. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales service after the sale. That's what you always get with Gulf Coast Office Products, and I remind you this all the time, but because they have warehouses in Baton Rouge and New Orleans and on the North Shore, Lafayette, they can get to you same day or worst case by 10 a.m. the next day. So if you have a copier, scanner, fax, all in one, interactive whiteboards, whatever it is, or you need them, they can sell or service you quickly. It's our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. GCOPnet.com, a national leader among Savin dealers, but they proudly service all makes and models. It's Gulf Coast Office Products. Okay, y'all, it's after further review here on a Thursday. My last show before get a week off. I'll be out tomorrow and then all next week, so Friday to Friday. Muse will be filling in, so no doubt tons of baseball talk tomorrow and the next week, as we'll know. No shows on Monday, I should mention. The only show that will, if you're in Baton Rouge, the only show on our lineup will be the new show, which is Live at Lunch with Ott and Handy. So Jimmy Ott, Charles Handigrove, they move back to their old slot, 11 to 1. That starts Monday. They wanted to do a show on Memorial Day around the selection for the NCAA tournament, but our full line will be back on in Baton Rouge starting on Tuesday. And, of course, want to wish everybody from New Orleans and Alec and all of our YouTube and WBTR television audiences a very happy Memorial Day, and hope everyone has an awesome long weekend, but also remembers why we celebrate Memorial Day and takes time to remember the brave men and women who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms, and why we live in the greatest country in the world, where I can sit here and get paid to talk about sports, and we can watch baseball and pretend like it really matters. But what a beautiful thing. It's after further review. Let's knock out a quick break, y'all. We'll come back and put a button on hour number 1. In about 17 minutes from right now, Matthew Brune will be here to talk a little LSU basketball. Tigers picked up a 5-star transfer commitment today. That's coming up in about 15 minutes. Don't you move.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. That's where you can find them at River City's 1 Hour Air. And you can always go online and read 5-star Google reviews. Here's one from just 3 days ago. It says, Joseph, their technician, was top-notch, quick, same-day service, went above and beyond with his expertise and recommendations. How about that? Same-day service. Your AC goes out, and it's 100 degrees outside. You don't want to be put on a list hoping someone gets to you within 48, 36 hours. How about you call them and you get same-day service? It's possible. It's River City's 1 hour air. 752-0001, 752-0001. We're heading into a holiday weekend, and I always remind you, nights, holidays, weekends, they'll always come out and never charge you extra to come out after hours. It's River City's 1 hour air. 752-0001, whether we're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Get 3.99% financing at Corval Toyota in Opelousas on select 2023 models. We also have a large selection of pre-owned inventory. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
41 minutes away from first pitch, LSU and Arkansas from the SEC tournament winners bracket game. LSU starting lineup is posted. One notable change is that Alex Milazzo back in the lineup as the starting catcher. This is something I actually asked Jay Johnson about yesterday whenever we I asked him, we know Jay has said on the record that he likes to have Travinski catch Floyd. Floyd's a little bit taller, Travinski's bigger, he has a fastball that elevates, Travinski taking up more space, it's just more conducive. We've also seen Milazzo catch Paul Skeens. So I kind of asked, does Skeens have a say? Do you let the pitchers have a say in who catches them?
We
always have conversations, and I actually had this conversation with Coach Burtman not that long ago about valuing offense over defense or defense over offense or, pitcher liking to throw to one guy or another. I mean, we certainly take in the feedback. Ultimately, I'm going to make the best decision that I think what's best for that day for our team to be successful. And it is no different than any other position, but it is different because they touch the ball every pitch and they're the target and they're building a rapport with the umpire and with the pitcher. And we've just been in a super fortunate situation this year. I mean, Brady Neal has, missed 7 or 8 weeks with an injury, and we haven't missed a beat because Alex has come in and done a terrific job. Hayden has done a terrific job, and both those guys offensively and defensively. So no matter who we've put back there, they've done a great job for us.
And it's what an about face from a year ago where behind the plate with Milazzo's injury, and you had McManus and Travinski, who defensively, just call it what it is, they were liabilities. I mean, you were bad defensively a year ago. And major credit to Hayden Travinski, who has improved defensively dramatically over what he was. But his bat is why he's got to be in the lineup, and he is in the lineup today. So Milazzo's catching, but Travinski's going to DH, which I think we would, of course, expect that he's got to be in the lineup every day. So here's how they'll line it up tonight. It'll be Cruz, Pearson in left. He started in right yesterday. Cruz, Pearson, White. Travinski DHs. Morgan stays at first base. Thompson at short. Jobert in right. Dugas at second. Milazzo catching. So again, Cruz, Pearson, White. Travinski, Morgan, Thompson. Jobert, Dugas, Milazzo is how LSU will line it up tonight. So obviously getting Josh Pearson in the lineup has been a major priority for Jay Johnson. And if you're going to have Pearson in the lineup, then Jobert has to either play one of the other outfield spots or DH. Well, in a game like this, if you're going to catch Milazzo, Travinski's got a DH, so Jobert's got to play in the outfield. So Beloso is the guy that comes out because you got to have Morgan in the lineup, so Morgan goes to first. So the question is, who do you DH? Well, of course, you're going to DH Travinski. So it's Beloso that comes out of the lineup today with Pearson and Jobert playing in the outfield and Milazzo behind the dish, Morgan at first base. All right, it's After Further Review brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. That's us, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Heading into this long weekend, we're in the spring and summer's right around the bend, which means storm season is going to be here before you know it as well. If you have issues with your roof, if you think you might have issues with your roof, if you notice that all of your neighbors on your street are getting new roofs, chances are you have roof damage as well. The only way to find out, there's two ways to find out. Number one, let us come do a free, no-obligation roofing inspection, or wait till it rains and get water in your house. And one of those objectives is better than the other. So let us come do a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. Hudco Roofing. Go to the website. You can fill out the inspection form right on the homepage. It'll take you 30 seconds. Or you can always call 318-225-504, 337-985. No matter where you are in the state, we got an office near you. Hudco services the entire state of Louisiana, commercial or residential, roof repairs, roof replacements. It's Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Real quick, before we put a button on this hour, I saw this story where University of South Florida is nearing a green light for a new $340 million on-campus stadium. And I find this kind of fascinating because, and major hat tip to South Florida for this, because in what they are doing is solidifying themselves or increasing their chance at relevance moving forward. Here's what I mean. If you look at averages for teams that play in college, NFL stadiums off campus, here you go. The Pitt Panthers, for example. Pitt plays at Heinz Field. They averaged 54,000 fans in a 68,000-seat stadium. Miami Hurricanes play at Hard Rock. Now, this isn't a paid attendance, not an actual, but they paid attendance is 54,000 in a 65,000-seat stadium. South Florida, who we just mentioned, they play at Raymond James Stadium where the Bucks play. Capacity is 75,000. They average 21,000 fans. UCLA, they half fill the Rose Bowl. Temple, 17,000 at Lincoln Financial, where the Eagles play. And then you look at these teams that have invested. Tulane, which built its new stadium at Ullman, and the job that they've done in filling Ullman, average near capacity this past year. Central Florida built the Bounce House. Baylor's McLean Stadium, over capacity. Minnesota used to play at the Vikings venue. Now they've got M&T Banks there, Huntington Bank Stadium. They're averaging near capacity. UAB plays at Protective Stadium in downtown Birmingham, a brand new venue as well. What you're seeing is something that is appealing. You can recruit to it, and it's going to be better for your program as a whole. So good on you, South Florida. They're building a $340 million on-campus stadium that should be open in July of 2026. Okay, it's after further review. We'll kick off hour number 2 next.
AFR.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A man who had to pay an African-American employee more than $60,000 due to racism he was exposed to at his place of business just received a high-profile appointment by Governor John Bel Edwards to sit on the State Police Commission. It comes as the feds are in the middle of a pattern and practice investigation into happenings there. Watchdogs say there's nothing right about this. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
We're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown with Eric Spoelstra as their head coach. The Miami Heat have never lost 2 straight series-clinching games in the same year. Tonight, in Boston, they get their second chance to close out the Celtics. ESPN's Monica McNutt says Boston is the more talented team, not necessarily the better team.
What we've seen from Miami is a team that is searching in their identity in terms of basketball and their character, right? There is no way that a game is tight and Jimmy Butler doesn't have the basketball. Perhaps that is because of the roster in and of itself, but it's also because they know exactly who they are and who their guy is.
Monica McNutt on Get Up. Gabe Vincent out for the Heat tonight with a sprained left ankle. Game 5, Heat and Celtics. Our coverage starting at 8 Eastern here on ESPN Radio. Clemson forward P.J. Hall withdraws from the NBA draft. He'll be back with the Tigers in the fall. Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo had surgery on his left foot back in March after signing his free agent deal with the team. Garoppolo got hurt in Week 13 last year playing for the 49ers.
If you need to hire, then you need Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform helps you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been more streamlined. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona. And here we go. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Bottom of this hour, Sean Fazende will be with us. We'll recap Saints OTAs. Staring down the start of LSU-Arkansas again, about 30 minutes from right now. It was a big day for Matt McMahon and the LSU basketball program as they land the commitment from a former 5-star Kentucky signing and transfer, Damien Collins. Matthew Brune, good enough to join us from On 3 for a couple minutes to talk about it. Matthew, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
Hey, yeah, I'm doing great. Like you said, busy day, kind of caught us off guard, but that's always good.
Yeah, so, well, let's start there then. Usually you kind of have a little heads up when commitments are about to pop. How did this one transpire?
Yeah, so basically we were working and the staff was working basically that they were going to do a self-imposed one scholarship penalty because of obviously the whole Will Wade, the NCAA, everything was still going on. So they were going to operate under 12 scholarships this season. Well, they filled their 12 scholarships a couple weeks ago when they added Hunter Dean to back up the center for George Washington. So we had the roster done, and then this morning we see Damien Collins commit. So we don't have any concrete news or updates as to why, but we've spoken to people around team sources, stuff like that ensure us that they're not dropping anybody. Everything's here, everything's good. So we'll see maybe if the NCAA, gives them the scholarship back or something like that happens. But yeah, it was a interesting news drop.
Can you just fill in some blanks there? So LSU was going to, if I understand correctly, was going to a one scholarship reduction. So could they then just not self-impose that? I mean, is that basically what they're doing?
We don't know 100%. I think if they were going to do that, they would have had to have talked with the NCAA and been like, the NCAA may have got some clarity, kind of like how Kansas got a little bit of clarity recently. I think we'll find out more in the coming days, maybe, as the NCAA starts to maybe make a decision one way or another. yeah, that's basically what you said. Basically sounds right, but I think the NCAA had a lot more to do with it.
Okay. All right, let's Matthew Brune's with us from On3. He's on Twitter at @MatthewBrune_. You can give him a follow there. Let's talk about Collins himself. I mean, I can go back and look. I mean, dude was a McDonald's All-American. He was a 5-star when he signed with Kentucky. Remind us what Collins, the 5-star prospect, was like, which earned him so many accolades before he stepped foot on campus in Lexington.
Yeah, I mean, an awesome athlete out of Atlanta, Texas, which is obviously East Texas. I mean, the number 15 player in the class, 5-star by every recruiting service out there. 6'9", kind of a thin player, but even at that age, you expect, players to fill out a little bit in any sport. But yeah, the athleticism stands out. The jumper's smooth. Defensively, he's really, really exciting. And as a prospect, he was exciting. And so that's why it made sense for obviously a team like Kentucky and basically every team in the country to be offering and be in on him. So yeah, that's kind of what he was as a prospect and why it was such a big deal. Kentucky fans loved him over the past couple of years, waiting for him to kind of break out.
The breakout never really happened, though. He had a great preseason tournament, I believe in the Bahamas, and that was sort of the expectation. But personal tragedy sort of struck his family. He lost his father this year during the season. Can you kind of walk us through that timeline a little bit and how that affected Collins in his sophomore year?
Yeah, so it would basically after that happened, from what I was reading, everything like that, he even lost like 15 pounds, and he was already a pretty skinny guy. It obviously held him back from the season as far as the season goes, from a development standpoint. So then you get into the season and into conference play, I should say, and it's like, all right, he's working his way back, and eventually he got minutes. That Kentucky team last year was so I don't want to say dysfunctional, but it was a tough roster to kind of work with for Cal. So they already had Oscar Tshiebwe at center, and so working him in as a non-shooter was difficult. But yeah, Damien Collins, like you said, the tragedy happened obviously with his father. Just really caught them off guard and was really tough for them, obviously. And so coming back from that was probably obviously the more challenging part than anything on the basketball court.
Matthew, why did LSU make sense for Collins as a transfer destination?
Yeah, I think it's actually a great fit. LSU added Will Baker from Nevada as a center, who is an offensive-oriented player. He can shoot it, can post up, one of the more efficient players in all of college basketball. But defensively, I think that he is probably a negative on that end. Not quite a rim protector, doesn't move his feet great. So if nothing else, they already have Derek Fountain and Jalen Reed at the 4. Damien Collins, I think, steps on campus and is immediately the best rim protector and perhaps the best interior defender on the team. We'll have to see, get more extended minutes from him this year to really lock that down. But I think that's why this makes a lot of sense. They've needed a guy that can protect the rim. They've needed a guy that can play alongside Will Baker. And even if he doesn't start, I think this makes a lot of sense for LSU.
So if we look through not only the numbers, but also just sort of the roster, where else? You said there are 13. Any holes, any weaknesses still positionally for this roster for Matt McMahon?
Yeah, so they're at their limit now. I mean, for sure, definitely at their limit now. A 13 barring, walk-ons, so they can get a walk-on that can play maybe. But I think they're pretty much set. You have Jalen Cook and Carlos Stewart as your kind of small guards that can create their own shot as scorers. You have the wings in Imani Wilkinson's back, Trey Hannibal's back, and then Jordan Wright out of Vanderbilt to come back home, and then Tyrell Ward is returning as well. So you have your wings there, and then the front court, Derek Fountain, Will Baker, Jalen Reed, and Hunter Dean, and now, Damien Collins. So I think this was really the big one for me. I think ideally they went after Joe Girard, who was a Syracuse transfer, eventually committed to Clemson. Maybe adding another shooter would have been nice, but ultimately I really think they've at least checked all the boxes of needs going into next year. This was the last one that I thought they really needed.
How much better is the roster today than they were when they finished this past season?
This roster is significantly better, in my opinion. And that's obviously going into last year, we had Adam Miller tabbed as an all-conference player. So you looked at it from Adam Miller and KJ Williams. You're like, okay, 2 all-conference caliber players, and then you kind of fill in the rest. I was low on Juice Hill last year. I was low on Trey Hannibal last year before the season started. So those struggles didn't surprise. And then, Cam Hayes came off the bench at NC State. Derek Fountain came off the bench at Mississippi State. So there were uncertainties I had last year. This year, there are still question marks, and I'm not saying that this is going to be a team that breaks 500 in the SEC, but they're definitely going to be a lot better than 2-16, in my opinion. Not just Jalen Cook is all 2-time All-AAC first-team guy. Then you have Vet and Jordan Wright and Will Baker, who can score the ball. If nothing else, offensively, this is going to be a really exciting team to watch.
He is Matthew Brune from On3 on Twitter at @MatthewBrune_. You go give him a follow there. Big news for Matt McMahon and the squad today. Former 5-star Damien Collins transferring in the conference from Kentucky to LSU. Matthew, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for a couple of minutes.
Yep. Thanks, Matt. Anytime.
All right, man. Be well. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. You know where to find them. 18 locations across South Louisiana. If you're hitting the road this weekend for the Memorial Day holiday, as a lot of people are, or at any point this summer, make sure you bring your vehicle to Shawbills. Got that gas check engine light on, if you could need the oil change or tires rotated. Maybe you got funny squeaky sounds with the brakes, or you're just not sure what's going on, bring it into Shawbills. We tell you every day, you got something going on with the car, they can help you. And if you need tires, if it's time, those things are threadbare. It's time to get new tires. No one's going to sell you the best tires on the road for cheaper prices than Shawbills. Go to ShawBillsTire.com. You can hit the promotions tab at the top of the page and see all the great specials they have going on right now at ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. All right, we are 20 minutes away from first pitch, LSU and Arkansas. Speaking of Damien Collins, it's a big get. The thing that Matt McMahon was still sort of desperately lacking on this team was athleticism around the rim and rim protection. Remember, Will Baker's the 7-foot center that they got coming in from Nevada. They certainly did work in the backcourt with Jalen Cook and Jordan Wright, Carlos Stewart, and then they added Hunter Dean, who they're bringing in from George Washington. There's another dude, 6'10", from Mandeville, Lakeshore. Went to George Washington, and now is transferring into LSU. So they got size. What they lacked was a lot of that long, elite athleticism around the rim. And look, Damien Collins is that. This was a consensus 5-star, top 20 overall player in the country. Spent 2 seasons at Kentucky, and it just never really materialized. And this year, in part, because of that tragedy he went through. But sometimes a change of scenery is great for any player. And he is what they were lacking. Just look, if you're checking skill set boxes, he's what they were lacking. And listen, he gave this interview while at Kentucky, and he talked about trying to make it through this season after losing his father.
Just staying in the gym, keeping up my confidence, help from all my teammates, my coaches, being there for me, helping me along the way. It just built great confidence.
Whenever he got back with the team, John Calipari said this about Collins and getting him back in that lineup.
His dad was his best friend, would have been his best man in his wedding, and he, in Lexington, passed away. And then all of a sudden he loses 16 pounds. Now we're playing other people, and now he finally got a chance. And I told him before the game, and I told Lance, I said, I'm going to go with him because I want to see if we get a little more length on the court, and that's him.
If you don't know the story, Damien Collins' father, his name was Ben. He died November 1st. He was 43 years old. And he was living in Texas, sold his business. He owned a trucking company, sold his business, moved to Lexington so he could watch Damien play. And the story goes that Damien and his dad were working out there at the gym together earlier that day. And that evening, Damien's father, Ben, died alone in his apartment in Lexington. So God bless, man. Young man's got to go make his way through the rest of his life after losing his dad at such a young age, 43 years old. I mean, you know, you're 19 years old, you're in college, and you lose your best friend. I mean, it can understand how that would not only be devastating, but cause a lot of just turmoil. And so maybe the change of scenery will be good for Damien Collins, and hopefully so, because he's certainly a talented guy with a skill set LSU needs. Hopefully it's best for everyone involved. Okay, it's after further review. Quick break. We'll give you a final look at LSU and Arkansas. 17 minutes away from first pitch. Run through the starting lineups for both teams, give you some final thoughts on that. And Sean Fazende, 15 minutes from right now, we'll recap Saints OTAs. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Okay, y'all, we are headed into Memorial Day weekend. You might be taking some time to spend with family. You'll be hanging out outside, maybe in the backyard, whatever it might be. Make sure you get by and see our friends at Clegg's Nursery. Maybe you're going to have family over to enjoy the holiday together, and you want to make sure that you don't have a mosquito problem. Clegg's can help with that as well. I'll tell you every day, whatever you'd find at a True Value hardware store, you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. On top of that, full greenhouses with beautiful flowers, mulch and soil by the bag or bulk, whichever you may need. It's at Clegg's Nursery. And, of course, the Aeon mosquito barrier, the thing that I tell you about all the time. Just go to any of the Clegg's locations. Say, hey, what's the mosquito thing that Moscona talks about all the time? It's a long box. It's 2 tubes, the size of a track baton. You just fill it with water, shake it up, put it on your property line. You're done with mosquitoes 90 days at a time, and it's $25. It's $24.99, excuse me. Check it out. It's at Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations, Seaganeer Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. It's Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Oh, live Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down to
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at Front.
after further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
10 minutes away. First pitch. LSU and Arkansas over there in Hoover. Tigers, of course, took 2 out of 3 from Arkansas and Baton Rouge earlier this year. Skeens was magnificent. We saw Hunter Holland and then Hagen Smith followed on that Friday. If you remember, there was forecast of rain in the evening, so they moved the game up during the day. They ended up playing a day game on Friday at the box, and the LSU bullpen in the 10th inning. They went. Remember, Brady Neal homered to tie the game. They ended up going into extras, and in the 10th inning, LSU's bullpen imploded a little bit, and I know what I get the jokes, the foreshadowing. But at the time, they were very good. I mean, Chase Shores pitched in that game. But Arkansas put up an 8 spot. It put up an 8 spot in the 10th. I mean, it ended up really one-sided. But LSU came back and won the next 2 games behind Ty Floyd on Saturday. And they won Game 3 on Sunday. And the Tigers ended up winning that series. Now, they'll face off again today. And it'll be Paul Skeens against Hagen Smith, who was a reliever then as Dave Van Horn was shuffling things around to find his way through as Arkansas was dealing with a lot of injuries earlier in the year. But the Hogs, as we know, they end up having a fantastic year and had a chance to win the league in the final weekend, but lost the series to Vanderbilt, which opened the door for LSU, a door that LSU could not walk through. But even still, the D1 projections are out right now. D1 Baseball updated their latest regional projections earlier today. And as you'd anticipate, there's a heavy SEC flavor in these regional projections. Wake Forest, they still project as the number 1 overall national seed. Florida, they project as the number 2 national seed, followed by Arkansas 3, and then your Fighting Tigers of LSU 4, the Baton Rouge regional. What's interesting about that, they have LSU against Nichols in the 1-4 matchup. Washington and Texas Tech, the 2 versus 3 matchup. And they have LSU or Baton Rouge, the 4 seed, partnered with Coral Gables, Miami as a host in the 13 seed. Here's what's interesting that I think you got to keep an eye on as we move our way through, not only today, but the rest of the weekend and how these conference tournaments play out. And one of the reasons why you got to look at things like, games at Texas A&M or, what happened at Kentucky this weekend. So if you're LSU, you're really concerned about 2 things. Number one, obviously, look, LSU's locked up a national seed. That's not even a question. It's really now a matter of where you fall in the pecking order. Do you stay at 4? And just something worth filing away. If Wake Forest does end up the number 1 overall seed, if you're thinking far enough ahead, the way that it would play out in the bracket, if Wake Forest is 1 and LSU's 4, is that LSU, if you did make it to the championship series, you would be playing Wake Forest, being on the other side of the bracket, as opposed to having to play either Arkansas or Florida, in theory, in a championship series. We saw LSU do that in 2017. And so ask yourself this, would you rather play Wake Forest or an SEC team? And I know for me, as good as Wake Forest is, as good as their rotation has been, as good as the numbers have been, as dominant a program as they've been all year, I know Wake Forest has not played week in and week out the grind, the gauntlet that Arkansas and Florida and LSU have. It's just the nature of playing in this league where every single week it's just another amazing team that you got to play, either home or away. It's relentless. I mean, LSU went through a relentless gauntlet and didn't even have to play Florida or Vanderbilt this year. Think about what it felt like going through this 30-game slate, and you didn't even play Florida or Vanderbilt. So, yeah, if I'm LSU, I'd rather stick in that 4 seed and potentially look at a matchup with Wake Forest in a championship series in Omaha. The other thing along those same lines is look at the regional pairings. If LSU's the 4, they'd be matched up against Miami, the 13, as it's projected right there. Arkansas, as the 3, is paired with Boston College. Florida, as the 2, is paired with South Carolina. They're projecting South Carolina as the 15 seed. Just behind LSU, you've got Clemson as the 5, paired with Kentucky, the 12. Stanford, the 6, is paired with Alabama, the 11. Vanderbilt is paired with Auburn. My point is, there are a ton of, I believe there's, let me count them just to make sure. Gainesville, Fayetteville, Baton Rouge, Nashville, it's 4. I'm just making sure I got them all. South Carolina, 5. Kentucky, 6. Alabama, Auburn, 8. They're projecting 8 of the 16 regional host sites as SEC teams as regional host sites. Point being, there's a really good chance if you win your regional, you're paired with an SEC team in a super. So it's not a guarantee, but you got about a 50% chance of it happening. So who would you rather face? Now, there's nothing you can do to control it, but it's just something worth keeping an eye on as this regional weekend continues to play out, and how this field is going to ultimately be seeded and play out. As of right now, D1 Baseball is projecting LSU as the 4 seed, matched with Miami in the Coral Gables regional. I'll tell you, I'd rather play Miami than South Carolina, especially if South Carolina gets some of its pitching healthy. So, there's something to be said for going through the gauntlet of an SEC slate and what it would be like to match up against it. So LSU and Arkansas getting underway here in about 5 minutes from right now from the SEC tournament. If you missed it, lineups are posted. I'll go through those again here in just one quick second. Quick reminder about the Williamson Eye Center. Call 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. Someone sent me a link that Braden Jobert had LASIK as well. Might certainly indicate part of the reason he's hitting the ball quite the way that he is. But listen, at the Williamson Eye Center, Dr. Blake Williamson has helped thousands and thousands of people. In over 75 years, the Williamson Eye Center has helped tens of thousands of people in our community over their 75 years in business. Eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery. If you need your annual eye exam, you can get it done at the Williamson Eye Center. If you need glasses or contacts, you can buy them at the Williamson Eye Center. If you want to ditch the glasses and contacts forever, Williamson Eye Center. My buddy Brian Haldane, the Brain, his office is right across the hall from us right now. He came in yesterday. He's like, put me in touch with someone at Williamson. He's like, Brain's worn glasses forever. He's like, I finally reached my breaking point. I'm telling you, you'll hear everyone say it. Best decision ever made, best money ever spent, should have done it years ago. It's the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. Okay, one more time for those that missed it earlier. Here's a starting lineup for LSU as they're just about to get underway against Arkansas there at the SEC tournament. Dylan Cruz will lead off and play in center field. Josh Pearson back in the lineup again, playing left field today, batting second. Tommy White batting third and playing third. Hayden Travinski in the lineup today as the designated hitter and batting fourth. Trey Morgan behind him and playing first base. Jordan Thompson at short, batting sixth. Bottom third of the lineup, Braden Jobert back in right field, batting seventh. Gavin Dugas playing second and batting eighth. And Alex Milazzo will catch for Paul Skeens tonight, and he will bat ninth. So Cruz, Pearson, White, Travinski, Morgan, Thompson, Jobert, Dugas, Milazzo. Some people have asked about Morgan going back to first, and someone asked via the text line if that's a product of some of the missed picks at first base. This is a product of getting Josh Pearson back in the lineup. If you want Josh Pearson in the lineup, in the outfield, then Trey Morgan has to go back to first base. So because you want Trey Morgan in the lineup, of course. So if you're going to put Pearson in the everyday lineup, and Jay has made it clear he thinks Pearson affects winning, they like having him in there, well, you're certainly not benching Jobert either because, look at what he did yesterday. He's got a boomstick. So if you want those two guys, they got to be in the outfield, which means Morgan goes back to first. If Morgan goes to first and you want Travinski in the lineup every day, Travinski has to DH or catch. Well, if you catch Milazzo, then Travinski's got a DH, which means that Cade Beloso goes to the bench as he does today. So that may be a particular matchup. Hagen Smith is throwing today, so you're going to face a lefty. So maybe Jay wants more right-handers in the lineup. That makes sense. So you get Travinski in there as a DH, and Beloso goes to the bench. So in any event, we'll see how it plays out today as they're just about to get started with LSU and Arkansas from the SEC tournament. Okay, quick break. We'll come back. Our buddy Sean Fazende is going to be with us. Saints wrapped up their 3-day OTAs. What did we learn about the Hootats? We'll find out next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Of course, they're just about to get started there in Hoover with LSU and Arkansas. If you need a place to watch this game, if you need a place to watch the Eastern Conference Finals tonight, if you need a place to watch any of the SEC tournament, if you need a place to watch regionals as they get started next week, the best place to go is Pluckers. 2 locations in Baton Rouge, Nicholson just south of campus, and Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Dine and carry out or delivery. Remember, you want to enjoy award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, a full-service bar, every game you could possibly imagine on TV, you can watch it at Pluckers. Either location. And remember, Tigers are going to be hosting regionals next week. So if you're going to be dodging raindrops, which sometimes can happen, but knock on Formica, if you need a place to grab a bite to eat between games, whatever it may be, Pluckers is just south of Alec Box Stadium. So make that your home, your hub right there for regional baseball next week. It's Pluckers. 2 locations, Pluckers, if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Turn my music high, 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 yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Sure I do. I'm from the streets with a hood to swallow on me. Bullets will follow on me. There's so much that you could run the slalom. The cops comb this top to bottom. They say that we are prone to violence, but it's home sweet home. With personalities clashing, chrome meets chrome. Prices up and down like this Wall Street.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Musso. Join me Monday through Friday for your daily update on LSU baseball with Musso at the Box, presented by New Orleans Flooring, wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Saints 3-day OTAs have come to a close. Our buddy Sean Fazende of Fox 8 was there for the media availability. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. How are you, man?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So 90% attendance at OTAs. Is that good?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think quite a contrast from the first OTA we were able to see last offseason, where attendance numbers had dipped. There was still kind of a weird energy from the previous head coach, the new head coach, and kind of figuring himself out. He was a defensive coordinator and not quite, I don't think he had really kind of found himself in terms of how he wants to be in front of a group of guys that had seen him as a coordinator, now the head coach this year. Different level of comfort, different level of attendance, obviously. So certainly good to get those guys on the field and repping things out as quickly as possible. As they say, it's where the building blocks of chemistry begin. So it can't be bad to get 80 of 89 players at OTAs when they're all voluntary, especially the low numbers that you had a season ago.
Hey, Sean, when you go out there, look, I mean, you've covered this team for a long time. Like, when you go out to OTAs, what do you look for?
Depends on the year. This year was without a doubt Derek Carr. I mean, it was Derek Carr. And then obviously I was really looking for the energy because I can't. Last year it was so weird. It was an odd, like, it was like the overhang of the previous era. It was weird. The energy this year is just much different, and I think a lot of that had to do with the presence of Derek Carr. It's just, I think he's got an engaging personality to begin with. He's an energy type guy. I think the organization certainly feels like they have their guy, and I think it kind of permeated throughout really the entire practice, where it just felt, it wasn't crazy rah-rah stuff, but it had a little more life. And certainly that was overarching big picture. And then specifically, I mean, look, it's a new franchise quarterback. I was watching him quite a bit throughout practice.
Yeah, what stood out about Derek Carr? What'd you notice?
Well, I thought executing plays and what he was doing, it felt like there were minimal mistakes, and he had a pretty decent day, especially when you consider where he is in terms of his football playing career. It's a new organization. He's had his entire life in one organization, NFL life anyway. So it felt like in that regard, it was pretty good, his on-field execution. The ball didn't touch the ground. It was short passes except for two, and a lot of basic stuff. But nonetheless, it could have gone worse, and it did not. I thought it went fairly well. But the big thing that stood out to me about him was how much he was talking and communicating to players and coaches before and after every single play. And even when he was on the sideline, I think it's pretty clear he's trying to expedite the learning curve and get on the same page with everybody as quickly as possible, going through as many scenarios as quickly as possible. And it just felt like he was really communicating a lot. We even asked him, afterwards, if this is where the chemistry is built. He said yes. And he goes, right now, I'm just asking a lot of questions. And that was obvious because, I mean, he was really talking a lot during practice on Tuesday.
He's on Twitter at Sean Fazende, Fox 8. You mentioned the weird energy a year ago and how much looser it seemed this year, or different it was this year. What else did you notice Dennis Allen, like year two for Dennis Allen? In what ways does this maybe look different than it did a year ago?
There's a quiet confidence about him right now. I think he's a little more comfortable in his own skin. I think there was, when you do the whole, hire the top assistant to be the head coach, I mean, there could be a little bit of am I doing too much? Am I not doing enough? I don't think he ever quite got fully comfortable until some point in the season. This year, I just feel like he is much more comfortable in his own skin. I think he's got more of the players that he wanted. I think he filtered out the coaching staff. Some went on their own, but some I think he moved on from. And he was able to bring some more of his own guys in. It just feels like this is now officially Dennis Allen's team. And then there was the weird energy last year with Sean Payton doing media, and he was always out there. Yeah. I called it the ghost of Sean Payton. That's all gone. So I just think it's a little clearer for Dennis Allen. I just think he's a little more comfortable and got a quiet confidence about him.
And when I ask you about Foster Moreau, the football player, we've talked so much and obviously about the diagnosis, how remarkable it is that he's out there. But what does Foster Moreau, the football player, bring to the Saints at a position that they have valued for a long time?
Yeah, it's a great question, because if you didn't know any better and just went out to watch, A, you'd never know Foster was dealing with what he's dealing with health-wise, and B, you would never know he was a new player. Seamless fit just in terms of what he's able to do, how he blended into practice. It was only one, but he just fit right in, and maybe that has something to do with the quarterback that he's been playing with for the last couple of seasons. But as a pure football player, he is mostly a wide tight end, an inline tight end. But he is an upgrade over what they had at that position. They wanted a steady guy at that inline tight end position. They were hoping it was going to be Adam Troutman. It never materialized. Juwan Johnson became kind of the pass-catching tight end, and they were hoping Troutman could be developed into something. It never did. Morrow has a Troutman skill set, but is much more of an upgrade. He's a solid player. He does a lot of things well in terms of blocking, running routes. He's probably underrated in terms of the route tree he actually runs, especially if we go back and watch the tape last year with the Raiders. And I just think he checks a lot of boxes. He's never going to lead the team in receptions, but I think he does a lot of things well. You know, if you're looking for a comparison, maybe a Josh Hill type that really, you know, was never a star, but was always a guy that everybody trusted. I think Foster Morrow can be that guy.
Sean, I also noticed that you had, wasn't it 4 starters on the offensive line absent? It's Cesar Ruiz still battling a foot injury. Any of this a concern at this point?
Not yet, because, you know, it's still OTAs, and honestly, I don't really pay too much attention to the line of scrimmage during OTAs or even minicamp without pads. But if this lingers into training camp, yes, I mean, it could be a concern. Penning and Ruiz was both late in the season. Their injuries, they were both out there, but not obviously participating in anything. They want Penning to be the starting left tackle, but he's got to get healthy and prove it. Hurst was not there as well. Ramczyk wasn't there, but you know what Ramczyk can bring. And then Ruiz, that's an interesting one. They didn't pick up the 5th-year option. They've got a couple guys behind him that I know they like. Maybe not as good as Ruiz, but certainly maybe could be a player that they trust at that position. I do know this. Injuries along the line of scrimmage can derail a team if you get too many of them. So the hope is they recover, but not just recover and are able to remain durable throughout the season, because that can really set you back if you're not too careful about it. So, yeah, that's certainly something to watch going forward. We're not at the point of concern yet. I guess talk to me in August if they're still, you know, on the sideline, not doing anything, then maybe we have concern.
Sean, I can't let you go without asking at least one defensive question. So, top defensive storyline coming out of OTAs.
Well, I thought Cam Jordan being there was certainly something. I mean, you talk about a lot of other, I guess, quote-unquote, bigger-name players weren't there, and Taysom, Kamara, Lattimore. Cam Jordan was there, even had a tackle for loss. I certainly think his energy rubbed off on some of the younger players, and you know, Falsky and Brian Brzee. So I like the fact that Cam Jordan was there, but he's a football junkie. You knew he was going to be there, and he always just showed up to OTAs. And then, honestly, I'm starting. I'm going to be careful how I say it. The safety position coming together quickly is a huge. It will help the entire defense, and I think Matthew and May being present, developing that chemistry early in the offseason program, because Matthew had even admitted he just wasn't there at this point last year, and even well into training camp. That, you know, that cohesion coming together quickly or quicker this season can certainly help the entirety of the entire defense. And I do think this secondary has the potential to be one of the best secondaries the Saints have ever had. I mean, they're that deep and they're that talented. So hopefully that will all, you know, come to fruition and it shows up when the games matter in a couple of months.
He is Sean Fazende from Fox 8 on Twitter at Sean Fazende Fox 8. Y'all give him a follow. Appreciate it, man. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
All right, bud. You too.
All right, be well. Good stuff as always from Sean. One of the best to do it down in the Big Easy. LSU strikes for a run in the top of the first against Arkansas. Hagen Smith struck out Dylan Cruz, Josh Pearson, then back-to-back-to-back singles from Tommy White, Hayden Travinsky, Trey Morgan. LSU played a run, then Jordan Thompson struck out looking on a questionable pitch. We'll just call it questionable. Skeens is out there now here in the bottom of the first with a 1-0 lead and a 2-2 count here on the leadoff batter. So, it's after further review of Thursday shows are brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. It is pool and beach season. You want to look your best, they can help. Remember, the Evolve X is the latest technology in body contouring, non-surgical body contouring. Learn more at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Strikeout swinging for Paul Skeen, so not a bad start. 1 out. Well, now I got a quick break, y'all. Muso will have Tigers in the pros when we come back to wrap up hour number 1. And listen, I learned my lesson last week. Last week on Thursday and Friday, the LSU-Georgia games were head up against our show at 5 o'clock. And so Muse and I made the decision, like, hey, look, if people are going to watch the game, they'll watch the game. So we'll do anything but talk about LSU baseball because people are going to watch the game. We're going to watch the game. I'm not doing that today. We're just going to do like a legit companion show for hour number 3. So we'll watch the game. We'll talk about the game as it's playing along. So if you got the game on TV, turn the sound down, although I love Tommy Hart. Can't lie. Love Tommy Hart. But turn the sound down, turn us up, and keep us on. We'll talk through it here in the 5 o'clock hour. I'm glad to have you aboard with us. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Renaissance Hotel in Baton Rouge, right there on Bluebonnet. The Renaissance is a AAA 4-diamond hotel. It is a gorgeous achievement if you've not been to the Renaissance Hotel. Yes, they have exquisite guest rooms, but so much more. 13,000 square foot of meeting space. They always say, at the Renaissance, we're in the business of saying yes when it comes to your event. Conferences, awards banquets, nonprofits, fundraisers, school fundraisers. They host sports teams and formals. They even have like the cotillion etiquette classes there at the Renaissance Hotel. Think of them for anything and everything. Grandma's in for the holidays, or you need a place to host your event at the Renaissance. They're in the business of saying yes. It's the Renaissance Hotel right there on Bluebonnet. Amazing amenities. They got a heated pool. So you can, if you're staying there, you can swim in their heated pool all year long. It's the Renaissance Hotel right there on Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge.
$0 over MSRP at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. That's right. Don't pay over MSRP. There's no markups, no games. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile bank.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. LSU leading Arkansas 1-0. They're bottom 1. Skeens walked the leadoff batter. My apologies. I must have misread the count. I thought he struck him out swinging. So walked the leadoff batter. Liner to right field. Nice play by Joe Baird. Tried to double up the runner at first. Just missed him. And then a soft liner to Jordan at short. So there's 2 outs. Runner on first right now for Arkansas. 1-0 count. Skeens is trying to get out of this thing unscathed here in the first inning. He's at 16 pitches. That's 17 right there. So we'll keep you posted how this goes. Right now, Musso. Tigers in the pros. Yeah.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Our guy, Alex Lang, closing out another one for the Tigers last night. 1 inning. Gave up a hit and a run, but didn't walk anybody. Struck out 1 and got the 3rd out before the winning run crossed the plate. So that's save number 9 on the season for Alex Lane to go along with 2 wins. With the run given up, the ERA ballooned to 1.27.
It was sub 1.
It was. It was like 0.8. It was elite there. It still is pretty darn good. To minor league baseball we go, and that's where we find our other guy, Todd Peterson.
Ted Peterson. By the way, yesterday was Todd Peterson Day.
It was. Yeah, LSU played South Carolina in the SEC tournament.
No. March 24th, the date. It was the anniversary of the Todd Peterson Day.
Ted Peterson.
And they just happened to be playing South Carolina.
That's crazy.
That's a total whiff.
Yeah.
God, I wish I had a producer that looked at stuff like that. Especially
I was
when
supposed to know
if
that.
I had a producer that liked baseball and would think about stuff like that, that'd be great.
It's a terrible sport.
Oh, man.
2 shutout innings for Todd Peterson.
Ted Peterson.
Actually, Todd Peterson was perfect in those 2 innings.
Ted Peterson.
With 1 strikeout. All right.
Yesterday was Todd Peterson Day. Ted Peterson.
That's crazy. That was the exact same day.
May
That's wild.
24th, Skeen strikeout to end the first. May 24th.
Have a seat, Wagner.
May 24th, and they were playing South Carolina.
Wild.
Total miss.
This one not nearly as close as that game.
No, but from the show that celebrated Todd Peterson before Todd Peterson was Todd Peterson to the rest of the world.
Peterson.
I mean,
Ted Peterson.
To miss that, the Todd Peterson anniversary,
Ted Peterson.
when they're actually playing South Carolina, feels like a total whiff.
Yeah, that's because it was. Yeah. We'll try to be better next year on May 24th. Landon Marceau was on the bump last night for the Rocket City Trash Pandas. 5 innings for Marceau, 7 hits, 4 runs. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 6, got another no decision. It'd be great if his team would score runs for him. 5 innings, 4 runs, left with a chance for you to win. You didn't. It was actually a tied game whenever he left, and you blew it. And that's disappointing for the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
It's minor league baseball isn't about the result.
It's not.
He's throwing well. That's all that matters.
He is, but let's be honest. If he ever gets up to the Angels, it's going to be Mike Trout goes 3 for 4, Shohei Ohtani goes 2 for 5, and the Angels lose because that's what they do. Unless they're playing the Red Sox like this past weekend. that was a sweep for the Halos. Jake Slaughter tearing it up, and the Cubbies just don't care. 2 for 4 last night for Slaughter.
Up, you cowards!
Another home run. 2nd straight game with a homer for Slaughter. He's now on 10 for the year. His other hit was a double. Drove in a run and scored 1. And the Iowa Cubs lost 13-2. Couple more to get to here. We have Andrew Stevenson. Solid night for him with the St. Paul Saints. 2 for 5. Couple singles. He came around to score on both. So 2 runs for Stevenson's as well, hitting 282. I'd like to see him get another call up for what it's worth as well. And then we will wrap up with Hunter Fiducia, 1 for 3 last night. Yeah, 1 for 3 last night. 3 RBI on the double from Fiducia. That was his only hit. He's outslipped a little bit, Matt. 265 for our guy Fiducia. That's Tigers in the pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. It's graduation season. You want to surprise that grad with a beautiful piece of jewelry, you could do it. Gentlemen, maybe if you're graduating and you're on to the next phase of life, maybe you're thinking about popping the question. Get by Lee Michaels. Remember, at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, no matter your budget, you will always get the Lee Michaels experience with two locations in Baton Rouge, Corporate Boulevard in Bocage, inside of the Mall, Louisiana, but also locations in Lafayette, New Orleans, Shreveport. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, Tigers leading Arkansas 1-0 top two. It is Braden Joubert to lead it off for the Tigers. SportsCenter's coming up. We're coming back. We're doing a companion show for the final hour of the week for your boy. Drinking some beers, too. Stick around.
AFR.
Remind you about Traction, TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. Hey, summer's here. The kids are out of school now, and you got to be thinking, what are we going to do this summer? How about the Traction Summer Baseball League? Registration open right now. They start June the 5th. That's a week from Monday. So, Traction Summer Baseball League. Practice one night a week, game one night a week. That's Mondays and Fridays this summer. Also, Traction Summer Baseball Camps. Registration's open right now. You've got full and half-day options for 8 weeks throughout the summer. You can do, again, full or half-day options, 5 days at a time, week at a time. You want to pick and choose, 1 week here, 1 week there, 2 weeks, whatever. You can do it. Registration right now, open at TractionSports.com. TractionSports.com, where champions are made. This summer, you need your kids to go to camp. Traction's got you covered. TractionSports.com.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A man who had to pay an African-American employee more than $60,000 due to racism he was exposed to at his place of business just received a high-profile appointment by Governor John Bel Edwards to sit on the State Police Commission. It comes as the feds are in the middle of a pattern and practice investigation into happenings there. Watchdogs say there's nothing right about this. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on all new 22 Ford F-150 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super weird, but we can take care of it.
Get in and get better at Patient Plus.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Game 5 of the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals tonight in Boston. The Celtics won Game 4 to extend the series, but they lost the first 2 games of this series at home. And ESPN's Vince Carter says Boston still needs work.
They're going to have to find a way. And first and foremost, they're going to have to defend and take care of the basketball. Jason Tatum played great, but 5 turnovers. He had half of their turnovers. And you can't have that, particularly if you don't play well at home.
Vince Carter on Get Up. Heat guard Gabe Vincent out for tonight's game with a left ankle sprain. He got hurt during the fourth quarter of Game 4. Vincent is averaging almost 18 points a game in this series. Our coverage of Game 5 starts at 8 Eastern here on ESPN Radio. Over on ESPN TV and ESPN Plus at 8 Eastern, it's Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Playoff West Final in Dallas. The Golden Knights leading the Stars 3-0. The Jaguars signed kicker Brandon McManus, who was cut by the Broncos 2 days ago. He had been the last remaining player on Denver's roster from the Super Bowl 50 title team.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. And for ya boy, 1 hour to go before I head into a little vacation. So off tomorrow and then all of next week. I'll be out Friday to Friday. Muso will be hosting. One of the things we did, maybe one of the first things, when was named PD over here, was say, look, I'm sick of every time someone goes on vacation, we got to go through our Rolodex to find people to try to host. Not something that's easier that everybody wants to do. And we got great people in here like Muso and Mario and Taylor who are not only capable but eager and willing. So it's like, let those guys host. So Muso will be here for the next 6 shows. Actually, no show Monday. I forgot about that. So 5 shows. No show Monday. The only show in our lineup locally here, if you're in Baton Rouge, we got our New Orleans affiliate and our Alexandria affiliate, WBTR Television. Our only local show that'll be on Monday on Memorial Day will be our new show, which is Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny. Jimmy Ott, Charles Handegriff moved back to their 11 to 1 weekday slot starting on Monday, and they wanted to do a show around the regional selection show, so we will know LSU's draw and everything like that on Monday, and so we'll also debut Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny on Monday as well. Then we'll be back to our regular lineup on Tuesday. So, all right. Listen, last week we talked about this. I mean, you just grab your mic. We're gonna companion this thing up. So
here for it.
Yeah. I mean, last week we did this when LSU played Georgia, and the 5 o'clock hour was when it was first pitch, and so we kind of had the convo. It was like, if anybody wants to watch the game, they're gonna go watch the game, and so we'll do everything but talk about the game. So we try to talk about everything but, and it was just like you could. Sometimes you could just feel. You know what I mean? It's like
that nobody was here.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say that out loud, and I get that not everyone listening or watching loves LSU or college baseball. I totally get that. It's not everybody's thing, but it's a big enough thing for a big enough amount of people to where if you're of talking about the one thing everybody's talking about in this moment. You're kind of missing a little bit. So, you know what? My final hour here before we go into a holiday. So, how about this, Muse?
Great sound. Love it.
You okay with the twist top? Hey, hang on. I brought gifts. Hang on.
Yeah, the twist top's fine. Why not? I mean, I don't really know how else you do it on an aluminum pint. Ooh, look at this. Hey. Oh, good and cold, too. Good and cold. Here we go. We'll do it. We'll do the same thing here, Matt. Let's see.
Don't spill it on the board. If you do, you're paying for it.
Mine didn't fizz.
Okay. Well, if you
shake yours up a little bit?
No. If you spill it on the board, you're paying for it.
That's cold.
I may have to cap that thing back up. All right. So how's Skeens looking so far, Muse? I was kind of locked into the last 30 minutes of last hour.
Yeah, well, let's see. He came into this inning with about 23 pitches. I think it took him to get through the first.
23. 99 on that fastball.
Yeah. Got the first two on a strikeout, and then so back-to-back strikeouts technically ending the first inning. Strike out the first guy, a soft liner to Thompson again.
No, he didn't strike out the first guy.
I mean, of this inning, he did.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So there's two outs here. In the
right, and then a soft liner to Thompson, and then a backside single there. That's how you got the runner at first, and now he's sitting there with the 3-2 count.
Do you think? Do you think there's something to Milazzo catching Skeens every game? I mean, it was Neal, obviously. Then Neal got hurt, and so now it's been Milazzo catching Skeens every game. And then, like Jay has said on the record, he likes Travinski catching Floyd. I wonder here.
I think because it was Neal, I'm inclined to say no, but I think what Neal and Milazzo have in common is they're better defensive options than Hayden Travinski, and Skeens has some really tough stuff to catch. Like, you're catching 100 miles per hour, and you also have to be able to block up that slider, and I think they just favor the better defensive option, whether it would be Neal or Milazzo. I don't really necessarily know if Paul Skeens has that preference, but I think Jay Johnson has that preference.
You have to be still behind the plate.
Yes.
And it's a very it's an important skill set that's probably not talked about enough, but it matters a lot. Like, you've got to be very still and very quiet behind the plate to frame, and it's hard when you're catching a guy like Skeens. So, all right, Skeens gets out of there, grounder to short. Nice pick there at first base by Trey Morgan.
The left fielder?
I don't know why they have a left fielder playing first base, Muse. I didn't write out the lineup card, okay? But Jay Johnson did, and he's got a left fielder playing first base today for some reason.
In all seriousness, the luxury that Trey Morgan has been for this baseball program the last 3 years, and no more evident than this year, where he could play both positions at such a high level that he has. It's really allowed LSU to get their best lineup on the field at different points this season in different ways. And I mean, all joking aside, seriously, it's been one of the most interesting and most pivotal things for this team this year.
Yeah. It played that cut from yesterday while they're in the middle of the third here. I'm sorry, that's the end of the second, so they're going to the top of the third. Played that cut yesterday. This was Jay Johnson on moving Trey Morgan back to first base.
He hasn't been able to play first base for an extended period of time because of some things going on, and so he's able to do that now, and that's a good thing for our team.
You got a theory on that?
I mean, I think what you said earlier about getting Pearson back in the lineup is a big part of that. Jay's answers surrounding Morgan at first base or left field have been really odd this year. They just haven't. I think you hear that and you're like, that's kind of weird. I hear that and I'm like, that's kind of weird. Remember after they moved him there and he kept calling it out of necessity?
Yeah.
Okay, but then you also played Hayden Travinski at first base before putting Trey Morgan back there. So was it really out of necessity? I don't want to say I don't buy it, but I kind of don't buy it.
You are getting a great lesson in what life was like covering Les Miles. And I know a lot of people are not going to like that because it's not like comparing Jay and Les, and I know people have their feelings about Les, but I strictly and specifically am only talking about in the way that they handle disseminating information to the media. Les was so intentionally coy. I mean, he didn't disclose things. He felt anything that got out was a disadvantage. And that all stemmed from when he was at Oklahoma State. There was a player who had a hand injury. Now this was like 04, right? I mean, or early we're going back 20 years. So forgive me if some of the details of this are a little spotty.
Right.
But Cruz is 1-2, and just check. It was just a check swing. He almost struck out for the second time. But you say it was a ball. He held up.
And Jeff Head's umpiring first base, which is bad news. But anyway, continue.
Forgive me if some of these. Hey,
Scott, look,
Dylan,
he's the number one pick in the draft. If he thinks it's a ball, it's a ball.
Dylan
all right?
is playing with fire.
He's got a great eye.
He does have a great eye. He absolutely has a great eye. These are also college pitchers and college umpires. He struck out swinging. Okay.
Yeah.
Cruz 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Wow. Hagen Smith is good. Hashtag.
Yeah, I can't wait for Hagen Smith to pitch in the major leagues solely so he won't be pitching in the SEC anymore.
Yeah, see you later. What were we talking about?
Les Miles at Oklahoma State.
Yeah. So anyway, he had a player, I think he had a hand injury or something, and the word got out, and the team they played that week just kept attacking that hand because of that. And so Les determined after that, like, he was never disclosing anything about injuries again. And so it was just always a thing that he thought as a competitive advantage, and he wasn't going to just forfeit or concede some type of competitive advantage. So he didn't. And this isn't injury related, with Jay, but whatever's going on with Trey. So the point about Trey, I mean, if you can play left field, you can play first base. But I think it was more so when they felt like they could get Josh Pearson back in the lineup. So, and if Pearson's going to be in the lineup and you want Joe Bear in the lineup, then they both got to be in the outfield. I mean, Joe Bear could DH, but if Joe Bear DHs, then what do you do with Travinsky?
Yeah.
If you want Travinsky in the lineup and he's not catching, he's got to DH. Means Joe Bear's got to play in the outfield. If you want Pearson in there as well, Morgan's got to go to first, which means Beloso goes to the bench.
It's the same thing as why, you wanted Jared Jones' bat in there. Okay, well, he's either going to catch or play first base. And then there's also Cade Beloso, so he can't DH, so you need Morgan to go to left. That's where it was when I was like, in all seriousness, him being able to do that, it's just allowed them to get their best lineup on the field in multiple different ways all year long.
I'm wondering if we're going to sit. By the way, ground out by Josh Pearson. So it's top 3, 2 out. LSU leading 1-0. Tell a friend if they want a companion with us to come hang out. Me, Muse. Paul, if you got anything to add here as well. Paul, you got anything to add to the baseball convo over here?
I haven't been able to see the game yet.
Got it.
I need to fix one of these TVs so I can get a look at it.
Oh, that's true. We can put this.
We could.
In the break, we'll put this one on for you, and we'll turn it to you so you can see. And hopefully they'll all be on the same.
Yeah, then I can fold the laptop down, which is ahead of that TV.
Oh, that's a better idea. Yeah. Okay, good. All right, we'll do that. We'll do that coming up in the break. But Tommy White's at the plate. And this is the situation they were in the first inning.
Yeah.
With two outs and Tommy White up, and then they went back-to-back singles. So you get a little 2-out rally. 2-out rally.
Love a good 2-out rally.
I do love a 2-out. 0-2 on Tommy White, so he gets really wide, and he just swung at a pitch in the dirt. Okay, so let's do this. LSU goes quietly in the top of the third, heading to the bottom of the third, and we'll grab a break. So we'll come back here. We're companioning it up. LSU and Arkansas here at the SEC tournament. Stick around.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You know what to do. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, get Gordon and get it done. Do what injured people in Louisiana have done for more than 3 decades. Let Gordon recover the damages for you, him and his amazing team of attorneys, to make sure that you were treated fairly. Get Gordon and get it done. You can always call if you'd rather talk to somebody, 888-8888, 888-8888, or go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. And yes, obviously, we want people who are listening, who have been injured, who need representation to call Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. But I always love telling you also about Gordon the person and about all the great things that Gordon and his firm do in our community. It's Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you go check out Gordon's social media, would highly recommend, by the way, you follow Gordon on all the social media platforms. You can see Gordon with Port Allen Elementary School on the final day. You can see more about the G team. It's all there. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench. Handy. After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, we are cruising, and for me, into a long holiday. I'll be gone tomorrow and then all next week. Muse will fill in. So we're doing a little companion show here as LSU and Arkansas are tangling in Hoover at the SEC tournament winners bracket game. A winner of this game gets a day off tomorrow. Loser plays at 3 o'clock tomorrow against Texas A&M. Correct? A&M? Yeah. A&M tomorrow.
Correct. Yes, A&M.
So
shut out South Carolina today, 5-0.
Yeah, there you go. So we're drinking the official beer of AFR, Bud Light. Cheers to our friends at Mockler Beverage, amazing partners of ours. So I am out starting tomorrow, and we're like, hey, well, let's just spend the final hour talking about this game. So what was that?
Skeen's just friggin' wicked two-seamer. Front door to the lefty, 98. I mean, good Lord.
Is
that
just your favorite thing in the world?
It's so good. And I see
that little giggle was.
I see so many people like his fastball doesn't have a lot. I saw some guy whose Twitter account yesterday was like at data sheets or something, like complaining about the lack of run on Paul Skeens' fastball. How does that do for you, data sheets?
Whatever data sheets.
Started on the lefty's hip and ended up on the inside corner.
Take that.
Pretty good arm side run on the two-seamer.
Take that, data sheets.
Gosh. Why do people do that? Why do people try to find something wrong with the best pitcher in college baseball?
Oh, LSU got a commitment for a 3-star defensive lineman, Damarion Johnson.
Shout out.
There we go. How about it? Boom.
Jimmy Lindsay doing work.
I mean, do I have to now do a segment on this so Paulie can put it on YouTube?
No, I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay.
That gives me something to do before Terrio gets here.
All right, noted. Okay, you can do that tomorrow, Muse. You can talk about Damarion Johnson. I was looking just a bit ago. Now I got to go find it buried somewhere in my Twitter. Schemes, stay fair. Who was it? Somebody just quote tweeted an LSU data tweet from November from fall ball, and it was the top exit velocities from a practice. And Skeens was 110 miles an hour off the bat.
That's the thing. Paul Skeens would probably be like one of the top 5 hitters on this team, and he doesn't hit.
He'd be a 20-homer guy.
I saw him hit in the fall, dude. It's loud. Like, it was loud.
Who was it? Was it JJ? Who's the guy from Baseball America? Is it JJ McCarthy? JJ Cooper.
Oh,
JJ Cooper.
Okay, yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
JJ Cooper from Baseball America. There it is. Here's the tweet I found.
Like, another front door two-seamer to the lefty on the inside corner. Have a seat.
All right, check out the tweet.
Jeez.
So JJ Cooper, who's the managing editor for Baseball America, he pulls up this tweet from November 4th of 2022, so last November. Just a reminder, Paul Skeens is a pitcher who can regularly top 100 and a hitter, back when he hit, who could post 110 miles per hour exit velocity as well. The top trackman exit speeds from the scrimmage on November the 4th. Paul Skeens, 110.3. Tommy White, 108.2. Ethan Fry, 106.9.
Yeah,
Brady Neal, Braden Joubert, Josh Pearson, Zeb Rudell.
Yeah, with 2 103s, kids redshirted.
You mean they're going to be good for years to come?
It could be.
Cool.
That's the word on the street. It's a rumor.
That's good to know.
It's the rumor.
Happy to hear that. All right.
110 exit velo.
All right. So we're here. Skeens, what happened? Final back?
Another front door two-seamer onto the lefty. Struck him out. Looking. Yep.
So how many strikeouts is that for Skeens? The 3?
I think it's 4.
No worries. I'm pulling up the box score right now.
Because I think
bear with me.
He had 2 in that inning, and I think 2 in the previous 2.
How long? So we talked about this on AFR earlier. How long we're expecting Skeens to go in this ball game? I don't believe. Okay. I don't believe Skeens is going to go beyond 5. So that was his 3rd inning of work.
That was his 3rd inning.
So
the pitch count's good though. Like the pitch count's good. He could conceivably get through 5 under 80 pitches right now.
I think 3 to 5 innings is what they're looking at.
Yeah.
I think the bigger now. There's another thing too. You can have a plan in your head of what you want to do, and then you get in the game like you go.
And he's just front dooring two-seamers like that, and you're like, well, maybe we should see what he's got. That's the interesting thing, right? I get the whole workload thing, but like conceivably you could, because he's going to get the extra day off next week. Like he's going to have plenty of time to recover if you wanted to do it, but you don't need to.
Skeens has 3 Ks. So he is at 47 pitches through 3 innings, which is a good pace. I mean, we always say you want to be 12 to 15 pitches per inning. So you're at the top end in right now through 3 innings. You want to be about 45 pitches. So he's at 47, 30 of them strikes, and no runs, 1 hit. He's walked 1, walked the leadoff batter of the game. He's hit a guy. So a little. I mean, just by Paul
Skeens standard, yeah.
The guy's got a whip of like 0.1.
It's pretty good.
Well, it's not literally 0.1, but, it's good.
He doesn't stink. He doesn't stink. That's for sure. Neither does Hayden Travinski, man. What a story, huh? Travinski. And boom, 2 for 2. I mean, 2 for 2. The swing at Ole Miss, did you hear, like, obviously that's when Hayden burst onto the scene this year. Jay told the story of the pre-at-bat on his radio show the Monday after that. Before Travinski went up there, he pulled him aside and said, he's going to throw you nothing but sliders. Do not swing at one unless it starts at your shoulder.
Interesting.
Then it did, and he hit it like 400 feet.
It's funny how we talk about the opportunities lost, which like blowing a 9-run lead against Mississippi State is an opportunity lost, right?
For sure.
You win that game, you win the league.
Yeah. Game 2 against Kentucky. It's another one.
The A&M game.
Yeah.
Game 3 against A&M. You were leading in the 8th. You gave the lead in the bottom of the 8th.
How about the last game of the regular season?
Trey? Well, that's what I said. You were up 9 against Mississippi State.
Well, no, I'm talking about Georgia. You win the last Georgia game, you win the league. There's been so many.
But those situations, though,
you were in control.
You had it won. And but you forget about the one like that you kind of stole. I say stole, but where you rallied.
Yeah.
I mean, you were dead against South Carolina in Game 2, and Dugas hits the grand slam in the 8th, and then Beloso gets the game winner in the 9th.
Game 2 against Alabama.
Yeah.
It's another one.
I mean, it was a great job. The comeback was huge, and then Hurd closed it the way he did.
Yeah.
They went Ackenhouse and Hurd that day, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so back-to-back singles here to lead off the 4th with Travinski and Morgan. Both through the left side. Did I see Morgan go
Both through the left side, yeah. That's 2 backside hits for Morgan so far.
They haven't hit Hagen Smith hard, but that's 5 hits against him now through three.
Shield your eye, Scone. Jordan Thompson squared around the bunt.
I saw it.
Well, I was just in case somebody doesn't have the game won.
First and second, nobody out.
Yeah.
They really going to bunt him?
Yeah. Yeah, Joe Bear on deck.
Are you ahead of me?
Uh-uh.
Maybe that was maybe that was his
bunt take.
Bunt take?
Yeah, bunt take.
That was good. When Jay in the Magic Moments tweet talked about the bunt take for Pearson on the homer.
To a home run. God, I mean, it's just, I know we talked about it a little bit yesterday, just the depth of position. Wow, Jordan, man. That's a filthy pitch there.
Muse, you're like, Jordan, how dare you?
That's a great pitch, though. Look at this. God, it disappears. Slider just disappears. Righties are supposed to hit lefties because it runs into your barrel. That one doesn't run into your barrel.
I'd still rather him swing than bunt.
For sure. I like the eye black for Thompson.
Away.
Very aggressive.
Swing away. Paulie, how do you feel?
I feel good.
Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome.
I think we're getting a Joe Bear yak right here. I really do. I think we're getting a bomb.
Top four, 2 on, 1 out. 1-0 count. Be really nice. Get a little separation here. So we started the half inning though, asking about how far Skeens goes. If you're just joining us, we did at the start of AFR today talk a little bit about Leah Van's piece in the Advocate. If you didn't see it, it's something she talked about on this show last week about the possibility of Ty Floyd pitching out of the bullpen. And then she wrote a piece. It published about 5 days ago. And she talked to a lot of staff members and players on Jay's 2016 Arizona team that went to the CWS final when they lost to Coastal. And talked about Jay's approach and how they sort of they manipulated the staff and moved starters into reliever roles basically to get them to pitch multiple times instead of just once. And what Leah said last week here was, you could see something similar happening with Ty Floyd. So did he go?
Yeah, he went.
All right, so you back-to-back singles to lead off the inning, then back-to-back strikeouts from Thompson and Joe Burrier. Oh, he went.
He went.
Hagen Smith. Has Arkansas recorded an out that's not a strikeout?
I think one, honestly. I mean, Hagen Smith has mowed him down, man. He's been
I don't
have the live stats in front of me. But
I don't think they've recorded an out.
No, because Milazzo had the swinging bunt to third, but
that's when I went upstairs to get the beer.
Yeah, but I think that I literally think that's the only out that hadn't been a strikeout.
9 strikeouts.
There you go. Out of 11 outs. So there's another one somewhere.
2 ground outs.
2 ground outs. Somebody else
grounded out. 9 strikeouts.
I think it was White. I think it was Tommy White. No, he struck out. Whoever did, congrats. Must have been Pearson.
Oh, yeah. Well, Hagen Smith, good. So anyway, the point was, we're about to hit this half inning and we're about to go to break, but the point was about Ty Floyd potentially pitching in relief. Would you like to see Ty Floyd pitch in relief today?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'd be okay with that. I'd prefer it more in the SEC tournament than in the regional. I think I have a very long-winded answer to this, but I mean, one of my main goal was to get Coleman another start in this tournament, to extend the pitch count again to where maybe he's ready to just be full go. I mean, your cap was 75 last week. He didn't quite or 70 last week. He didn't quite make it. If you could get him to 80 this week, is he ready to go to 90 or further for a regional?
Jay has kind of said, with respect to that, though, that sometimes Coleman has felt good.
It's true.
After a start, and sometimes he hasn't felt great after a start. So it's kind of been based on how he feels. I don't want you to get too into what you said was a long-winded answer to this if they get out of this here because we're going to break. But
for sure.
I'm looking at, all right, walk for Gavin Dugas.
Here comes Milazzo with the bases loaded. Have you noticed that Dugas only wears the specs when he's on the bases?
Yes.
It's weird.
All right, so Coleman's pitch count, 16, 29, 41, 31, 50, 65. So he's gotten as high as 65 against Georgia.
Yeah.
Are they coming to get Hagen
They
Smith?
are. DVH made the call. He made the call. I'll be very interested to see who this is.
76 pitches.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, they're in the same.
It makes sense, yeah.
It's the same. Hagen Smith and Skeens are in the same boat today. Neither coach has any interest in having their ace extend. It's so much more about getting to next week and being healthy and all. This was just about getting on the mound. Jay even said it.
Is that Hunter Holland? I think that's Hunter Holland.
Let's go to break. We'll come back. We're companioning it up as LSU and Arkansas are taking, they're playing baseball. Go to break.
AFR.
I even got Paul to laugh at that one. We're brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. You know where to find them. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. Y'all, the market is coming back. There's inventory on the market again. It is a great time. Yo, we are headed into the summer. You know what this means, right? Right now, as we head into the summer months, this is when school's done. People tend to change jobs. Kids are out of school. A lot of people move. This is when the market really gets rolling. Beat the rush. Call Darren James. If you're thinking about selling your home, call Darren James today. Don't interview 10 realtors. There's no reason. Darren is on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1% of realtors in America. Why? Because he sells more homes than anyone. Why else? Why would you call anyone else? And you're always going to get exceptional customer service. Darren James, 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Turn my music high, 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 yeah. You don't know what you're doing. Sure I do. I'm from the streets where the hood can swallow on me. Bullets will follow on me. There's so much that you can run the slalom. The cops comb this top to bottom. They say that we are prone to violence, but it's home sweet home. With personalities clashing, chrome meets chrome. Prices up and down like this Wall Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
So it was, in fact, Hunter Holland who replaced Hagen Smith, and he got the strikeout of Alex Milazzo, but not before he threw a wild pitch, and a run did score. So LSU leads Arkansas 2-0. So for Hagen Smith, they closed the book 3 2/3. He allowed 2 runs and 5 hits, 9 strikeouts. He tied a career high in strikeouts in 3 2/3 innings. He threw only 76 pitches. But this begs the question of where we were going before we went to break, which is I was asking Muse, if you're just joining us, thanks for being here. We're doing a little companion show for the final hour of AFR here with LSU and Arkansas. Tigers lead at 2-0 middle of the fourth. I was asking about the possibility of Floyd coming in relief, which is literally, I mean, it's exactly what Arkansas is doing. They went Smith, Holland, and maybe we see the same thing today with Skeens, Floyd out of the bullpen. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
So I have a lot of thoughts on the Ty Floyd thing out of the bullpen for the postseason, and I don't hate the idea. I don't like it being Ty Floyd. I'd rather it be Thatcher Hurd, and here's why. I think you have the guy. Like, I understand Jay's thought on outs, not who starts, who closes, whatever. I get that, and I'm sure, whatever. I think what Ty Floyd has done, though, in the last month has proven to you that that's a guy, if you have a chance to go to a championship, like, I'd rather Ty Floyd pitch the championship game of a regional. And you have Thatcher Hurd, who has shown he can close games out, who can start, who can be middle relief, who can do anything for you over the weekend. You could have him start Game 7, or you could have him close out the marble game or close out the championship game. I would rather him be that guy rather than Floyd. Also, because Ty Floyd hasn't come out of the bullpen since, I believe, the Kansas State game in Round Rock. He's done it twice this year. Hurd's been in that role more than Ty Floyd. So it's not that I am against that philosophy. I like the philosophy. I would just be against it being Ty Floyd. I'd rather it be Thatcher Hurd.
Well, if you're going to try Floyd, do it here.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I mean, like you said, Arkansas, they literally just did the same thing. Like, Arkansas is telling you, we're going to be a top, not even top 8, we're going to be a top 4 national seed. Who cares about Hoover? And isn't that so cool, too? Because this still has such a big game feel to it. Like, just these two programs, the talent that's on the field today, I love the LSU-Arkansas series in baseball. Love it so much.
The weird thing about it is, for so many years, even though Arkansas has been great, LSU dominated this series. And then in the last, I guess it really coincided with LSU's, I don't want to say decline, but it was about a 3-year, 4-year lull, and Arkansas continued at their pace, and it's kind of taken over this series. Skeens hit
third free pass for Skeens.
So that one was. So he hit him on his right-hand batter, hit him on the left arm. He kind of leaned into it.
Yeah,
he leaned into it.
As two-seamer that kept on going too.
I get it, but watch. If he wanted to get out of the way, he could. He just took it on the. He just leaned, threw his elbow into it, the elbow pad into it. Whatever. But so since I won't talk to you next week, because I'm not talking to you next week.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I'll be at the beach. Do not call me. If you need me, don't. So Skeens will throw the marble game of the regional. The question always is, what do you do in the first game of the regional? Do you go Floyd, which I would hate to see them do?
That'd be brutal.
I mean, you're gonna take on a 4 seed. I think you've got to treat it like a midweek. So, do you throw Hurd, or do you throw Blake Money? I don't think you're going to throw Javen Coleman in that spot.
And that's what I would like to see, is Coleman. I would like to see it be Javen Coleman. I don't want to, because that's the thing. Like, I know I just was talking about Hurd, like, being the guy who can get you those outs or whatnot. I don't know if I really want to waste Hurd against the 4 seed.
Here's the problem with Coleman. It really depends what happens in this tournament.
Yeah.
You got a guy coming off of UCL. They're being very measured with his pitch count. Do you run, let's say you win this game today, you're off tomorrow, you're going to throw, we got to see what happens with Floyd.
For sure.
But if Floyd throws today, so Coleman throws Saturday, do you bring Coleman back on short rest next Friday?
Yeah, that's
tricky.
that is the interesting thing, because it would be 1 day short rest for him, and that's where Thatcher Hurd comes into play there, and Hurd would be on extended rest because he pitched Wednesday. Excuse me. It's almost like Jay was setting it up.
The best thing would
for
be
that, right?
You can start Hurd, let him throw an inning, go put up like a 10 spot in the bottom of the first, and then just be like, "Hey, Micah Bucknam, go get him, guy."
And that's single up the middle for Arkansas. Yeah, it sucks.
All right, so hit by pitch, single, so first and third, nobody out. LSU leading Arkansas 2-0.
You're in the teeth of this lineup right now too, so Skeen's gonna have to bear down here if he wants to come out of this unscathed. Like this should be 5-hole coming up now, I think.
No, this is
6-hole.
This is Cali.
He's been hot.
6, yeah.
He wasn't in the lineup every day when they came here back in March. Now he is. He's been something else. What were we talking about? The regional.
Who do you start?
Short rest. I think a lot of it also depends on the 4 seed, Matt, too, right? So, like, if Nichols wins the Southland tournament, they're coming to Baton Rouge. Like, that's going to be your 4 seed. What throws a wrench in that is if Grambling or Southern wins the SWAC.
Come on, Grambling and Southern.
Both of them have not, at least as of like 2 o'clock, I was talking to Hunt about this, they haven't lost a game yet in that tournament, either of them. So they have to get past Alabama A&M. If they do,
you know way too much about the SWAC tournament.
Well, I was talking to Hunt. So
so that's
that's
you and Hunt combined know way too much about the SWAC tournament.
But
Let's go.
That's the thing, right? So I mean, LSU always gets the SWAC team. It feels like, but if Alabama A&M wins the SWAC like they should, they're going to go to Tuscaloosa or Auburn, and you're going to get Nichols.
When Southern went to Tulane, and wasn't Tulane the 1 seed, and Southern beat them in the first game.
Tulane was the 1 seed in 05. Is that?
I don't know if it was 05, but whatever. Southern went to Tulane 1 year and beat them in the first game.
Well, who was it? Was it Jackson State that came here and gave LSU all they wanted for about 6 innings?
That was Southern in 09.
Was that Southern in 09?
Yeah.
It was like...
I laugh all the time because Richard, and now I'm blanking on his first name. And he listens to the show all the time. He's going to message me. I cannot believe I'm blanking on his name.
There's a base hit.
Base knock.
2-1.
RBI single.
Yeah.
Oh,
they getting back pick? Oh, he dropped the ball.
No. Oh.
I think he dropped the ball.
Terrible radio. I apologize. So, single through the right side, run scores. Slavens came off the bag at second. Looked like they tagged him, but Jordy dropped the ball. So, should have had an out there. So, nobody out. Run home, first and second. Skeens is at 59 pitches. No big deal there. It's just a question of how long they want him to go. TV hasn't shown us if there's anybody in the bullpen for LSU, but just he had him too. He had him.
Yeah, if he hangs onto the ball, he's got him. He's got him.
Poop.
That'd have been needed. He needs an out bad right here.
Poop mouth.
Poop out of your mouth.
Poop, poop, run, poop mouth.
Oh God, Peyton Holt. This kid, he's the one who's filling in for Peyton Stovall. He's hitting like 400. I mean, it's one of the most. Well, there you go. We like that. Just whiff on a slider about 5 inches from your bat.
Talk for a second, Muse. I'm trying to find.
What are you trying to? Oh, dude, he is hitting 400. He's 1 for 1 today. Dude's hitting 400. This is like his 17th start in place of Stovall, and he's swinging bunt, foul ball. All right. Peyton Holt's also kind of like that really jacked up short guy. Like he's not overly tall. He's like Tyler Hanover height, but hits the weights a lot more than Tyler Hanover did, and it just looks kind of odd.
Tyler Hanover.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? Like you see like a shorter guy, and he's just like really muscular, and it kind of makes him look even shorter. I can say that because I'm a short guy.
You are a short guy.
And that's what Peyton Holt looks like. He's a hell of a baseball player, but that's what he looks like. It's kind of funny.
All right, we're about to have to break.
Are we doing Otter Locks?
Yeah.
Sweet.
We're gonna do Otter Locks. We'll get the Otter.
Dude, he hit Clemson last night.
I think he did. I think he had 2 out of 3.
He hit the Orioles too. Yeah.
All right, so nice night for the Otter. That a boy. We needed that one, man.
He's just grinding ACC baseball.
All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out our final break. What else did he have last night? He lost with the Dodgers. All right, he hit with Clemson, hit with the Mariners, hit with the Orioles. All right, so a 3-in-1 night for the Otter. Okay, we needed it. We desperately need it.
He's back, baby.
When I'm telling you, man, that I was having to cut my wagers in half. No, like legit was that beautiful stop by Milan. Did you see that? He went Superman into the left-handed batter's box to block that one up. I was having to cut my wagers in half because if I had kept going at that pace, I was certainly in danger of having no money in the account soon. All right, it's after further review. Otter Locks is next.
AFR.
Brought to you by New Orleans Flooring, NOLAflooring.com. Hey, y'all, Saturday is the day. Saturday is the blowout sale Saturday at New Orleans Flooring. I know you're like, wait, a sale? Don't you always talk about how they have the lowest prices? Yes, I do. You say 40, 50, 60%. They cut out the middleman. You get great cost, great savings on top-notch flooring. The same brand of flooring that you find at every other store. They just keep 1 million square foot of flooring in stock, so they're able to pass along savings to you because they cut out the middleman. Well, they got new inventory coming at the start of June, so they have got to move a ton of inventory this weekend. So Saturday, 8 until noon at New Orleans Flooring is the blowout sale. Again, this Saturday, 8 to noon. You've been putting it off, been thinking about flooring. This Saturday is the day to get by New Orleans Flooring. Metairie and Airline Highway in Prairieville, or online at NOLAflooring.com, NOLAflooring.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends, that's there for you at front-to-back boat service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get them now before they go back on back order. Front-to-back boat service.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off new 22 Ram 1500 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge. New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR. 2-2, Skeens gets a fly out to center, so first and second, one out. Game is tied now. It looks like Hagen Smith has only made it 3 2/3. Riley Cooper's warming for LSU, so there's a chance neither Skeens or Smith make it out of the fourth, which is certainly intentional. These two coaches who are just not trying to make either of their superstars work, but we'll keep you posted. Okay, one thing left to do. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable, the often incomprehensible, noted ACC baseball gambling expert, Jimmy Ott. How are you, Otter?
Hey, you got to change pitches, man. When you know, got to change. Look, are we gonna let them just keep going down the field on us, or we gonna try and mix up coverages, or what? Huh?
A 3-1 night for the Otter, led by his pick of Clemson on the money line over Virginia Tech in the ACC tournament last night. Nice job, Otter. 3-1 night. We needed it.
And I did text you late. It's not for air. It doesn't go on the record, but I sent you a little Vandy as well last night. So
oh man, I must have missed that. Sorry, I totally missed that.
Oh, check your text.
I totally missed it. Sorry, I'm sure it was at Oliver Twist with T-Bob doing Scone and Tea. I totally missed it. Sorry.
Oh man, Skeens got squeezed on that one. So this one was start out at minus 150, 12.5. I had to get on Skeens, but man, he has not had his out pitch like he normally does. Arkansas has really fought off a lot of two-strike pitches today. So might be
good.
Yeah. They've seen him before, and they are they're seeing him pretty good because this is not the most imposing. They've had some injuries, so as we watch another walk. So and you get close. Yeah. So anyway, so let's go to Philadelphia and Atlanta. First 5, Aaron Nola, big pitching matchup here, but we don't want to fool with the bullpen. That's right. Nola's minus 118 or so, first 5. The Phillies against the Braves.
All right, Philly first 5.
Mm-hmm. And then the NBA tonight taking the Miami Heat plus the points against Boston.
Do we think Miami's going to close it out tonight?
The chance, I don't think so, but that number is just. I don't have the confidence that Boston's got it all figured out all of a sudden. Look, when Miami led by 9 at the 10-minute mark in the third quarter in Game 4, when they're looking to close it out, it was they went 7 for 25 over a stretch, including 5 missed layups. And that's when Boston all the way to like the 5.5-minute mark in the game. So I don't think that there'll be a cold like that again. And so look, Boston's more talented. There's no doubt. But Miami's a more consistent team, and that's just a big number, Matt.
Yeah,
I mean, down 3-1, 8.5 is a lot of points. So taking the points in the Heat in that one.
Where are you tonight, Otter?
We're at Walk-Ons, baby, the original Walk-Ons. My man Dustin's over here working, hauling beer, getting ready for regional week next week. So we got a big bash for regional stuff. And this will be the setting for our first new show.
Yeah, man.
And, man, Cade's not happy. Oh, Cade's not happy.
Why?
He's got to redo all the imaging. We're renaming the show. Charlie's well-read. He keeps me up to date on all the world's ongoings. I'm my little sports gambling bubble. But have you ever heard Charlie read a menu? So anyway, one day he's reading green onions, shallot, and he calls them shallots. So Cade's upset because the new name of the show is Hot Shallot. So there we go.
I mean, you can crap on Hanny, but I had to tell you one time how to pronounce quinoa. All right, so let's not get it totally twisted.
Yes. That is true.
All right,
that is true.
Have a great show, man. I'm out tomorrow and all next week, so I'll be back. Muse will do Otter Locks next week with you, but we'll look forward to seeing you in about a week or so.
And don't be afraid to take the Vanderbilt Commodores again against Florida. Good pitching matchup tonight.
Noted.
Right.
Thank you, Otter.
See you, man.
All right, have a great one. That is Jimmy. Yacht Game Time follows us in Baton Rouge. We're brought to you by our friends at Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com. If you got mold, think you might have mold, even mold behind the walls, mold you can't see, Mold Zero can knock it out with their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. Call Jim and the gang over at Mold Zero or just log on to mold-0usa.com, mold-0usa.com. All right, I'm getting out of here. Skeens with a strikeout. No, that was the second strike. Well, they're really fast on just updating the count on the graphic. That's what it is. All right, Muse Polly, have a great one. See you later.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com with 30 offices across 11 different states. If you weigh or measure something, Michelli sells, services, rents the products used to weigh and measure. No matter where you are, you can ship your precision measurement devices to Michelli, and they'll calibrate them for you, send them back, or they'll just come to your office, pick them up, and bring them back. They can also do on-site calibration. If you have equipment that can't leave or you don't want it to leave, they can come do on-site calibrations as well with their mobile calibration labs. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, online at Michelli.com. Louisiana-born, Louisiana-owned and operated for 76 years. They've continued to grow, expand their footprint while maintaining that local ownership, local feel, handshake deals, face-to-face sales. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. They're also hiring. Check out the careers tab at Michelli.com. Again, online at Michelli.com, Michelli.com.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Hey, it's Matt Musso. Join me Monday through Friday for your daily update on LSU baseball with Musso at the Box, presented by New Orleans Flooring. Wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, and check out New Orleans Flooring. 2 locations, Metairie and Prairieville, or NOLAFlooring.com.
Bayou Ford has $15,000 off plus 0.9% APR for 60 months on all new 22 Ford F-150 SCA trucks and incredible deals on all remaining 2022 inventory, all with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.